I've been sitting on this story time for a minute. So here it goes. Part one of how I fell in love with The Lion King. Earlier this year, I went to Alabama for work and I met this man in the airport. We kind of made eye contact when I was getting my rental car the first time because I had to exchange the rental cars. The first car they gave me was small. They tried to give me some little hatchback car and I was like, no. So I went back in there to get another car, and as I'm going in to get the other car, he's the only person that's like at the little counter. So I'm like, yo, can you help me? And he was like, no, I can't help you, but I'll get the people. So I get my rental car, I go out to the parking garage, and then as I'm about to start putting my bags in my car, he comes around the corner and he's like, excuse me. And I was like, what's up? You came to help me put my bags in my car or something? He giggles or whatever. He like, yeah, I'll help you put your bags in your car. So he puts my bags in the car, and then of course he introduced himself. So we're chopping it up. He's asking me like where I'm coming from, why I'm coming, like, you know, why I'm traveling to Alabama or whatever, how long I'm gonna be there, Then he obviously is like, you know, I think you're very beautiful, and I'm just wondering if we can exchange numbers and maybe get to know each other while you're here. So I'm like, you know what? Cool. I gave him my number. We exchanged numbers. I leave. So we're texting for a couple of days. Conversation is A1. Let me tell you something about this man. This man might be a motherfucking liar, but the man can hold a conversation. And if you are a single woman in 2024 and you are dating or you're trying to date or you have people trying to talk to you, you already know. Men cannot fucking hold a conversation. They have nothing to talk about. They're not interesting. They're boring as fuck. They just have nothing to say. This man right here can hold a conversation.
First of all, she ain't talking about your boy Messy. Welcome back to the channel. Now, for all my new people who are here, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss any uploads from Messy Stories. Now, listen, fellas, if you don't learn anything from this story time, stop pissing these women off. Because to have a woman go make an 11-part series about you, I don't ever want to be on the other side of a story time. I'm happy to just be the judge and be the person right here reviewing it. I love my job. I would hate to be you, whoever this is she's talking about. Because she didn't spare nothing. She said a lot of good things in the beginning, but then it started getting a little messy, y'all. So buckle up. Happy Thursday. And without further ado, let's get into this story time.
We were having good conversation for days. I'm talking like on the phone, on FaceTime, text messages. Like the conversation was top tier. So as we're getting to know each other, he tells me that he's 28 years old, no kids, never been married. You already know. I'm like, yes, period. I'd hit the jackpot. He did tell me that he was previously engaged to his ex-fiance, and he kind of told me like the rundown with their whole relationship. He told me that he was adopted. I don't remember the exact age he said he was adopted at, but he did tell me that he was adopted. That's important. Remember that. So after a couple of days of just like talking on the phone, getting to know each other, he asked me if I want to link up to go play pool. We link up. So that's technically, I won't call it our first date because it was just really like on some last minute, like, hey, what you doing tonight? Are you free? Do you want to go play pool type shit? And I was like, sure. So we go play pool and everything was cool. The vibes were cool. We were getting to know each other. I'm not a good pool player. So he was like teaching me how to play, but it was a vibe. We had a good time. After that, he did ask me like, hey, if you're free this weekend, I want to take you on a date. So I'm like, cool. Just let me know the details. You know what I'm saying? And we can, you know, figure it out. The weekend comes, he texts me, I'm going to take you here at this time, so, you know, be ready. So I'm like, cool, love that. Love a man with a plan. I'm ready when you tell me to be ready. So he comes to pick me up. He has flowers. He's a real gentleman. Like, he gets out of the car. He's opening the doors for me. We get to the restaurant. He parks. He's like, don't touch that door handle. I'm coming to get you. He gets me out the car. He takes me in the restaurant, pulls out my chair. We're discussing like, you know, what I'm going to eat, what he's going to eat, whatever. The waitress comes, he's ordering my food for me. He's like, oh, she'll have da-da-da. Love that. I love that. Anything that I needed in the restaurant, he's like hunting down the waitress. Like, yeah, she needs this, she needs that. Like, it was all about me. Like, he was just so sweet. And so he seemed so selfless. And that's what really attracted me to him. The night ends, he takes me home. He's like, yeah, I'll text you later. You know, see you later. I had a great time. You know, hopefully you had a great time too. And maybe we can go on another date. So I'm like, cool. Yeah, hit me later. We'll talk later or whatever. So now we're like a couple weeks into talking. I think we have been to like 2 or 3 more dates, but he's constantly bringing me flowers. He was off every Wednesday. So every Wednesday he was bringing me lunch. We were meeting up, or he was either bringing me lunch or we were meeting up for lunch for like a little lunch date, and everything was going smooth. Like the vibes were so nice, and it felt good because my dating since being divorced has been a fucking disaster. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe there is, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm not gonna lie, after about a month, we're locked in. Like, we're seeing each other every single day at this point. Like, he's either coming to my place after work or I'm going to his place after work. We're doing dinner all the time. Like, we're cooking or we're going out. On the weekends, we're hanging out when he's off work. And, like, we're locked in. Like, that's my man. Like, we're in love. I see no red flags. This man has me in my softest soft girl era ever. Like I told y'all, he's a gentleman. He opens every door. We go out places. I'm not carrying no bags. I'm not doing nothing. I used to get off work and I would like come to his place after work. He would take my boots off. He would cook. He would do everything. He would clean. I wouldn't have to do anything. It's like on the days where I'm at his house, like I'm doing nothing. I'm coming in the house and I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm doing nothing. Like I'm just relaxing. When it was time for me to like get up and like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go take a shower real quick. You know, I'll be back. He would go and like set the mood for me in the bathroom. So he had these LED lights. He would like turn them on pink because pink is my favorite color. He would turn the shower on for me. He would make sure I had a new rag and a new washcloth. He would make sure I had everything that I needed. He would get the stuff like out of my bag that I brought from my place and like make sure it's all set up in the bathroom so that I didn't have to like, you know, be looking for nothing. Everything is where I needed to be. When I'm in the shower, he would put my towel in the dryer and he would be like, tell me before you get out so I could bring you your towel and it's warm when you get out the shower. Like, this man was, in my eyes, this man was perfect. In my eyes, this man could do no motherfucking wrong. He could do nothing wrong. I am not exaggerating when I said that this man treated me good. He would rub my feet every night. I remember one time I mentioned this lip gloss that I bought. Matter of fact, it was topicals. I love topicals. Anyways, I bought a topicals lip gloss and I lost it at a concert. And I just kept saying like, oh my God, I freaking am so mad that I lost my lip gloss. Like, it was so good. It was my first time ever trying it. I loved it so much. I should have bought more than one, blah, blah, blah. And I came home from work one day and he had the freaking lip gloss for me. Like, he didn't even ask me where I got it from. He didn't even say anything to me. He literally, I guess, just Googled it, found it, went and got it and was like, you know, here, because you keep bringing it up. So I wanted to get you another one because you lost it. Like, he was just so thoughtful and like selfless. And I had to study. I remember like the times where I had to study for like these exams and stuff that I had, and he would like set like the mood for me to study and like leave me alone, make sure there was like nothing else that I had to worry about. Also when I was there, like I was away from my kids, so he would always like it reassured me that like I was being a good mom even though I was away. Like, this man was sweeping me off my damn feet. He also wasn't one of those guys where like, oh, I'm gonna take you on a date, let's just go to dinner. Like, we did picnics, we did like little games and stuff at the house. Like, he was so like thoughtful and cute. Like, he was teaching me how to play spades. Don't come for me. So like we would have like little nights where we would just like sit in the house and he would teach me how to play cards. Like, he was just so thoughtful and we always had so much fun. So I was just like madly in love with this man. So when I was there, he introduced me to like a bunch of his friends, and they had a trip planned for one of the friends' birthday. So it was supposed to be like a little couples trip because most of his friends were like married or like in a relationship. And he was like, do you want to be my plus one? Because mostly everybody that's going is like booed up anyway. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, you know, let me know when and let me know what I need to do or when we're leaving or whatever. Just let me know the details and I'll go with you. So the week of the trip, it's a Wednesday. I'm at work and I can't have my phone. So my phone is like away or whatever. I couldn't have my phone, I think, for like 30 to 40 minutes. I come back to my phone. I kid y'all not. I had like maybe 10 to 15 Instagram messages from his baby mama. So I step away from work and I am reading these messages and I am literally like, my heart is racing because I'm like,
I knew it. I knew it. If y'all don't know what that is in the beginning, what that is that she was feeling in the beginning, and what all the reason why he was doing everything that he was doing, that is the love bombing stage. She went through the love bombing stage. If you don't know what love bombing is, that's pretty much when a person you meet does everything you need them and want them to do. If you want that man to wipe your ass when you get off the toilet, some do it. Some do it. They'll take it to that extent. And she'll be like, oh my God, I've never been pampered in such a manner. He wiped my ass. I've never had a man wipe my ass. And he knows that. That's why he did it. I knew it was love bombing. I'm just giving y'all some wild examples. It's messy stories. I knew it was that. The call from the baby mama, I didn't see it coming, but I knew some bullshit was coming. Because nobody's making a bath water, don't make me look bad. I do not make bath water for nobody. Now, if it's you had a long day, I'm going to do that for you. But on the first time I meet you, I'm not even setting standards that high. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Call me what you want. I don't do the love bombing shit. I just come in, we vibe, but I'm not about to do all that extra run the water, take your shoes off. But anywho, let's get back into the story time, Messy family. I'm sorry. Let's lock in. We still got a lot to go.
Baby mama, what do you mean, baby mama? Like, I've been talking to this man now for over a month, or maybe a month and a couple days or whatever. I've never seen him talk to a child. He obviously told me he didn't have any fucking kids. And I've been to his house. There's no toys there. There's no baby clothes. Like, what do you mean, baby mama? She sent me everything I needed to know in like all her first little correspondence. Like, she didn't give a fuck about nothing. Like, she was like bam, 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 like back to back to back to back, like bomb dropping, bomb dropping, bomb dropping. I'm reading this and I'm just like, what in the fuck? She doubled down and made sure that I didn't have no questions, because she sent pictures of him. She sent pictures of the baby. She sent pictures of all three of them together. So it's not like he could ever be like, no, I don't know, this lady's crazy. No, she sent me every little piece of evidence and receipt that I needed. She even sent me like a side by side. I want to say it was like a picture of him and like a picture of the daughter. And she was like, look at the comparisons. Like, this is his child. Don't let him fucking lie and say that it's not his fucking child. So at this point, I'm going crazy. Now, mind you, this is a Wednesday when he brings me lunch. So I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, like, we're not going to start going crazy through the phone. We're going to wait until he brings you fucking lunch, bitch. And we're going to confront this man. We're going to ask him, like, who the fuck is your baby mama? And I thought you said you didn't even have no motherfucking kids. So what the fuck is this? So it was probably like maybe that happened like maybe an hour or two before he brings me lunch. So, you know, that shit is, my blood is boiling. Like, I'm still trying to talk to him regular. And I'm just like, dog, hurry up. Lunchtime come on. He keep asking me like, what do you for lunch? And really, I just want to be like, nigga, I don't want no food. Just bring your motherfucking ass here, because we got some shit to talk about. Part 2 of how I fell in love with The Lion King. So in part 1, I explained how he was bringing me lunch every Wednesday because he was off. And let me just read one of the messages. Like, it's really short, but I found the screenshot from like when he first initially started bringing me lunches. Like, he was just so fucking sweet. Like, he asked me, oh, can I bring you lunch tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so on Tuesday night, I'm gonna assume, I think this was like on Monday, but he texted me and was like, so on Tuesday night, I need all your orders in my phone, LOL. And then he like spaced down in the same message and it was like, I just cherish the ground that you walk on. So where I left off was when I got back to my phone from work. While I was at work and I didn't have my phone, whatever, I had messages from his baby mama. So the first message literally says, hello, do you conversate with this guy? And then it's like she's replying to my story, and she did it 3 times, like to 3 different stories. Hello, do you conversate with this guy? Hello, do you conversate with this guy? Then she sends a picture. Then she's like, hello, do you conversate with him? Hi, do you conversate with him? And she just keeps sending that. Keep sending that. Then she says, I'm just asking. I'm the mother of one of his children, and I was told something different from him. That's why I asked. So mind you, I don't have my phone. So she's just writing me, sending me all these screenshots of like text messages between them two. And then after she sends me like 10, 15 screenshots, she says, I don't want him. He's off my hands now. That's the lie that he's going to hit you with. Maybe you can help. She says his name, the 32-year-old manipulator. Do right by his kids and get off child support. 32. This man told me he was 28. So I found the screenshot of when he told me how old he was. He said, I'm 28. I'll be 29 on blank. He says his birthday. Then he says, when's your birthday? No, I don't have any kids. I was engaged. My ex had a son though, so it was an amazing experience dating someone with a kid. Excuse me? Who the fuck lies about their motherfucking age? So, mind you, I'm at work. It's Wednesday, the day that he brings me lunch. So we're talking and like we're texting back and forth, because literally, like I said, we text and we talk all day. So we're texting. He's saying that he's going to go pick up my food, telling me what time he's going to be there, blah, blah, blah. I'm playing it cool because I'm like, I have to ask this man in his face, because what in the fuck? I cannot put this in a text message, because one, I know, man, I put that in text message. First of all, I'm not getting no lunch and I was hungry. So I'm like, let me just not even say nothing because I want my food. And then I can ask him in person. And if he lies to my face, he's a psycho. So he comes, I get in the car, I get my food. And then we're like chopping it up and like I'm playing it cool. He's telling me about like what he did earlier in the day, like he went to the mall, he did all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, he's like, what's wrong? Because he asked me something that he texted me, and I was just kind of like, oh, I don't even know. He was like, did you read my messages? And I'm like, yeah, I just got a lot going on today. Today's like a crazy day. And he's like, oh, like, what's up? He's like, your face is turning red. Like, what's wrong? Because I'm hot. I'm about to blow, nigga. And so I'm like, I got a question. Do you know somebody named blank? And I say his baby mama name. And he's like, no. And I'm like, so you don't know anybody named blank? He's like, no. And he's like, well, I know a lot of girls, but no, like, what's up with her? I'm like, so you don't have a baby mama named blank? And he's like, no, but I have an ex named blank. So at the time, I didn't know that I was confusing. Like, when I asked him, I was confusing like his baby mama's name and his daughter's names, like, up, because they're very close. So when he said that he didn't know, or he didn't have a baby mama name, whatever the first name was that I said, I asked him about his daughter's name. I'm like, well, do you have a baby mama name this? And he's like, no. And I'm like, so why did somebody write me today saying that she's your baby mama and you guys have a child together? And he said, you're gonna have to ask her. So then I asked him again, do you have kids? And he's like, no. And I'm like, are you sure? And he says, positive. And I'm like, I'm stunned. And then he even doubles down, y'all. He's like, you have 2 kids. So if you told me that you have 2 kids, then why wouldn't I just be comfortable telling you about my kids? Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hold on. Whoa. First of all, I didn't know she was married. That caught me off guard. And then you tell me she got 2 kids. So how you gonna sit here and say this man didn't have no kids and you hit the jackpot when you know you got 2 kids? It's on me to fuck it. How are you even searching for a man with no kids when you got 2 kids? You know what? I'm gonna let you pass. I'm gonna give you a pass right there, because now we found out you was married already, plus you had 2 kids. What is going on? Who is really, like, you ain't get, I want the full story moving forward. What else going on with you? What was else going on with you before he met you? That's what I want to know, because you had some standards right there, buddy, and I was with you. So I'm thinking maybe she don't have no kids. She's in the military. Maybe she doesn't have any kids.
I'm with you when you right, my boy, because I'm trying to figure out why you didn't tell me you have kids if I have kids. Like, what? So then I'm like, so why did this girl write me saying this if none of this is true? And he's like, first he says, I don't know. But then he kind of like gets to stumbling over his words. And he's like, well, you know why she wrote you? Because she's my ex and she's mad that I don't want to be with her. She literally writes every single girl that I end up talking to. She stalks my Instagram. And then every time I get a new girl follower, she writes the girl follower, and she does this every single time. Like this, she's been doing this since my ex-fiance. I even asked him, like, well, who is this baby? Like, this little girl that she's trying to say is yours. Like, whose child? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, you're just going to have to ask her. You're going to have to ask her about the child. And I'm like, well, God damn it, I'm going to ask about the fucking child. So at this point, I'm still like, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around everything he's saying. Like, and I'm like, why am I asking her? Like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm asking her, but right now I'm asking you. So like, I'm like, well, why am I asking her? Like, well, I'm trying to ask you, like, you, what's up? You know what I'm saying? He's like, this girl literally just wrote another girl that I used to talk to, that I just stopped recently talking to, and said the same thing to her. Like, I don't know why she's doing this. Well, I mean, I think she's just doing this because she's mad because I don't want to talk to her. So then he tries to say like, oh, and like, well, I know she's recently mad because like once I started talking to you and fucking with you, like I cut everybody off because I'm feeling you. So, you know, I didn't want to talk to nobody else. So now she's just mad and she's just DMing every single girl that I just recently followed, or like that is a recent follower of mine. And she's just like making up all these lies and telling them. Now, mind you, this man's Instagram is private. So you are allowing her to follow you, to stalk your followers, because you can't see somebody's Instagram followers unless you're following, like unless you allow them to follow you if your page is private. So you know that she's doing this, but you're letting her follow you. That's okay. Like, that was a little crazy for me. But at the time, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I'm just trying to figure out, why are you telling me you don't have no kids? And this lady is sitting here hounding me about you being her baby daddy. So I haven't even gotten to the point of him lying about his age. Like, I haven't even got to the point to be like, okay, so also, why are you 32? But I'm still stuck on this. Like, why would you lie about having kids? Like, this is crazy. So he basically shut it down, saying like, you know, if you want to know anything else, like if you have any other questions about this baby or anything, like you gonna have to talk to her. Like, that's not my child. I already told you that. I ain't gonna nothing else to say. Like, that's just what it is. Now, mind you, up until this point, this man has been super sweet, super gentle, like very open, you know, can have a conversation. But when I tell you this conversation, that man shut me down. He was basically like, yeah, I'm not saying nothing else about this. So like, what else do you have? Like, his whole demeanor changed. He was not this like soft, gentle, like nice person that I know. This man had an attitude. He was very like stern. He was very just like, yeah, bitch, we're not talking about this no more. Like, he didn't say that, but like his demeanor came off like very like mean and like an attitude. So I'm on top of being like, damn, is this nigga lying? I don't know what the fuck going on. And then on top of this, now you're acting guilty as fuck. So we're in the car, and then like basically after he's kind of like, well, what else do you have? I'm like, I don't have anything else, because at this point I'm like not scared like he's gonna do something to me, but I'm scared because you just lied to my face. Like, you're a liar. Like, I'm literally seeing you go from like black to white. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like night and day. Like your whole shit just switched up on me. Like, I literally watched the nigga switch up on me right in front of my face, and it was terrifying. So I just grabbed my food and I'm like, well, thanks for the food. Yeah, and I just get out the car. Now, let me say this. From the moment that girl said I'm his baby mama, she was sending me pictures of him with her and the baby, I want to say she even sent me like a side by side of the baby and him. So like, I knew for a Fendi fact that this was his daughter, because this little girl looked just like him. So, I get my lunch, I go to my car, I'm sitting in my car, I'm eating my lunch, and then he sends me like this long ass message, and he's basically saying like, pick a side. Like, either you're gonna believe what this bitch is saying and you're gonna, go investigating with her, or you're gonna still keep fucking with me, but you gotta pick a side. Like, literally the end of his message says, I'll let the clowns enjoy the circus and simply remove myself, because like I told her, I'm at too much peace right now for the bullshit, so pick a side. So I call him because I'm like, pick a side? Nigga, do you have kids or what? Like, what do you mean? You can't just be like, I said I don't have kids, so believe me, and fucking what the fuck? So I call him, and then he texts me immediately back and says, on the phone with my mama. So I'm like, okay, well, just call me back when you get on the phone. And he's like, respond to my text. I don't want to talk because I may say something I don't mean. Again, this man was very open, could talk and all that, blah, blah, blah. Now he don't want to fucking talk. So I'm like, well, we can just talk later in person, because I just don't feel like this is the conversation that we should have in text messages. So I also responded to him. It was kind of like, I don't really like your response, or like the way you're trying to go about this on the like pick the whole side thing, because I feel like, one, you can't just say no and then think, oh, okay, yeah, my man's not lying. No. Like, you have some explaining to do. So I'm like, let's just talk later, like in person, and we can get to the bottom of this. And I feel like, you got a couple of hours to like get off work so that you can figure out how you're going to kick it to me and tell me the truth. Part 3 of how I fell in love with the lying king. So after I confront him in the car about him having kids, he leaves. And like I said, in the last part, he told me basically like I have to pick a side. And I'm like, well, he texts me that. He texts me like as soon as he drives off, he's like, you're basically gonna have to pick a side. And I'm like, well, we should just talk in person, because like, no. So he's like, basically he's trying to avoid me. He's like, we need to figure this out right now. Like, I'm about to read the message that he said. He said, I'm just not with the drama. I like where I'm at. I don't care about screenshots. Oh, because I screenshotted like where she was like, maybe you could help blank the 32-year-old manipulator get off child support, or whatever she said. And he's like, I don't care about screenshots. If you're doing all that, then you have picked a side. You can't guilt trip me by sending me these things and trying to make me say what you want me to say. There's no gray area with me. I told you what it was, and it's up to you to tell me where we stand. Very simple. What? Now, let me just go ahead and say, like, I know y'all are probably like, well, girl, fuck him. He lied. He got kids. He got kids. You could see the da. Yes, I know. This is where my dumbassness comes in, because I'm just like, I'm shook, because, again, this man has been perfect. Like, and at this point, I should have known, like, it was, like, too good to be true, because he was just, like, such a freaking good man. So I text him back and I'm like, well, we could just talk when I get off. And he's like, well, after I leave the gym, I'll let you know when you can come get your stuff. We can just go our separate ways again. I'm not with the drama and letting you or her bring it to me. So I'm like, you lied to me? You trying to dump me? So we do end up going back and forth for like the rest of the day that I'm at work. And he's basically just saying like, he don't want to talk to me. Like, I basically already picked a side. I'm doing too much. Like, he just starts like flipping the fucking script on me. So right before I get off work, now mind you, like I said, every day I'm either going to meet him at the gym where he's playing basketball, or like going like straight to his place, or like as soon as I get off work, if he's off work, like he's coming to my place and we're like figuring out dinner. Like, this has been our normal routine. I have stuff at his house, he has stuff at my house. Like, so I'm about to get off work and I'm just like, you know what? We will talk in person. And y'all, he is avoiding me. He texts me and he's like, I told you to pick a side. I know what this is. If you would have chilled and let it play out, you would have saw what's up. I was going to have my mom call you, but instead you entertained it. So with that being said, I removed myself. She did this with my ex, but it didn't work. So I reward disloyalty with distance. That's all. So I have no interest to continue to talk to you. No one is mad at you. No bad blood. I'm just good on you. The motherfucking nerve. So again, I'm like, nigga, you lied to me. You bamboozled me. I'm coming to ask you about some girl that's writing me, telling me about you and your kids, and you want to talk, you're good on me. You reward this loyalty with whatever the fuck he said. I'm just like, nigga, like what? So I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, so do you have kids? It's like, is that why you're trying to just like end it because you're like, damn, I'm caught, I got kids, fuck. Now I'm over with it. You know what I'm saying? So then he sends me like a really long ass message, and he's like, you were sending me screenshots. It shouldn't even got this far. Like, if somebody would have DM'd me and said something about you, I would have even responded. I would have just deleted it and blocked them because they're just trying to steal our joy. Nigga, if I told you I didn't have no fucking kids and then my baby daddy messaged you or my ex messaged you saying like, yeah, that's my baby mama and da-da-da-da, you would not block it and just be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm not worried about that. You know, nigga, you would be like, bitch, you got kids, why the fuck you didn't tell me? Like, you would be in the same boat as me. You'd be trying to figure out why the fuck I lied to you. So I get off work and I'm calling him and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna meet you at your place. Like, even if I'm just coming to get my stuff, that's cool, but like, just meet you at your place and I'm gonna get my shit. Y'all, why I'm driving to this man's house and I'm driving this way to go to his house, I'm about to turn like I'm driving straight and then there's a turn to go to his neighborhood. I'm about to turn to go to his neighborhood and I see this nigga driving in the opposite direction. So I'm calling him again. Now, mind you, like, again, usually when I get off work and I'm calling him, like, we stay on the phone until I get to wherever I'm going or whatever. Like, we're always talking. But he would not stay on the phone with me. Like, he wasn't being, like, too rude or whatever, but he was just like, all right, yeah, like, come get your stuff, like, whatever, like, yeah, I'll be here, da-da-da. So we're off the phone, but I see him driving in the opposite direction. So then I'm calling him and I'm like, calling him, he's not picking up. So I'm still driving to the crib because I'm like, whatever, I'm still going to the house. So I go to his house, I park, and I'm blowing him up. I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you be going in the wrong direction? Like, why are you going in the opposite direction? So I'm calling him, texting him. He's not answering. So he finally texted me. He said, your stuff is outside. Y'all, this man put my shit in a garbage bag and put my shit outside. I was pissed. So then I go like and get my stuff or whatever, and I'm in the car and I'm like blowing this nigga shit up because I'm like, at this point now I want to fight. Like, earlier I was trying to be understanding and I wanted to talk, but now I want to beat your ass because why would you put my shit outside? And I'm talking, I had like sneakers, clothes, like I had shit over there. He put my shit outside. I was pissed. So I'm blowing him up. Of course he's not answering. The nigga done went somewhere. I don't even know where the fuck he went. So I think I only stayed out there for maybe like 10-15 minutes and then I ended up calling my best friend and I'm pissed. I'm going the fuck off. I'm like, this nigga, he lied. He got kids. He's not even 28. This nigga 32. Like, what the fuck else could he possibly have lied to me about? Like, he was so perfect, blah, blah, blah. I go home and I'm just like distraught. Like, my heart is broken because y'all, I thought he was the love of my life. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I just knew I found me one and I was fucking wrong. So obviously didn't talk to him again. The next day, I just could not stop thinking about that shit. I didn't like hit him up anymore. Like, he didn't talk to me anymore either, but I just could not stop thinking about that shit. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. The nigga, I'm not talking to the nigga no more. So I'm about to hit the baby mama up. We about to get to the bottom of this shit. So while I'm at work, I message her on Instagram and I'm like, hey, like, what's your number? Because I'm going to call you later. So she sends me her number. And when I get off work, I call her. So she's basically telling me that, they obviously have a child together, that they just recently started talking again because they didn't talk to each other for like a year. He was only communicating to their daughter. And she's basically saying like, you know, he came. So this was this year. So this is 2024. So she's basically saying like he went to back home, like where they're from, for his birthday, which is in November. And then he went down there again for Christmas. So then after he went down there for Christmas, I guess that's when they started communicating again because he was saying that he wanted his family back. Oh, This is also important. The baby mama at first was really cool. Like, she was just answering all my questions. She was giving me all the information. Like, she was just telling me, you know, everything that I was wanting to know. Like, she was very open. She was very, like, honest from what I could tell. She was very nice. She was sweet. She wasn't rude. She didn't have no attitude. Like, we was really just having, like, a cool conversation. So she said that he came for Christmas, and so Christmas of last year, and was saying, like, you know, he wanted his family. Now, she did say, like, before in their prior relationship, like, he was manipulative, and like, she knows about all the stuff that he did, but she was like, this time it seemed different, it seemed genuine, like he was really changing, he was putting action behind his words. So she was kind of like going along with it. Also, this is going to be important, like, towards the end. She was saying, like, you know, her daughter really loves her dad, and like that he's a good dad, and that she really wants them to like be together, like she loves her mommy and her daddy together. You know, normal shit, but just remember that. She also said that they were talking about having another baby because he knew that she wanted another baby, and she was kind of like on some like, I don't want to have two baby daddies, so you know, if we could work it out and be a family, like I want to have another baby, so like let's figure this out so we can, you know, have our family, have another baby, you know, do us. So after she's done explaining all of that, I'm like, okay, girl, cool. So does he have like more kids besides your daughter? This lady came out her mouth. You know what? I really want to play because I was recording the conversation. I hope I don't go to jail. But I really want to play y'all my reaction when this lady answered my question when I asked her, do he have other kids? So let me just say this. At the time, I was only recording a conversation because I have a really bad memory. So like, I knew that me and her would have probably been talking for a while, and I wouldn't be able to remember everything. And because it was on the phone, like I wouldn't have nothing else to reference. You know, just receipts. You know how we are. We keep receipts. So I really was only recording the conversation at first because I'm like, I need to go back and listen to this so I could be like remembering what the fuck she said. Your daughter?
Yeah.
How many kids?
He has 6 baby mamas.
This girl said he had 6 baby mamas.
What y'all doing? Messy family. What are y'all doing? If you find out the person you've been dealing with not only lied about his age, don't have any kids, but in fact has at least 6. If you got 6 baby mamas, that's at least 6. Now, we don't know yet if he have multiple with each. But if he's willing to give the 6th baby mama or the 4th, whatever one she is in the lineup, if he's willing to give her another kid. Listen, y'all. The more story times I do, the more I'm starting to learn more about what a narcissist is, what it looks like. He manipulated her. Controlling. You think that all the stuff he was doing was just out of the greatness of his heart? He had your day scheduled out for you. He picked out your food. That's a red flag. I don't care what nobody say. If you go on a date and this man instantly says, she's going to eat this, that is not... I knew that was a red flag. That was the red flag for me from the jump. Why are you picking her meal? What you want to eat? This is our first date. Why would I just automatically start picking your food? That was my red flag. But see, y'all gonna be like, oh, he's such a gentleman. He took my shoes off. This man has 6 baby mamas. I'm trying my best not to laugh because you tried to play men in the beginning. You said you don't know how to hold conversation. They suck. No, just your men. You ain't talking about Messy. You ain't talking about me. I'm a different breed.
You said what, Miss Girl? She said he has 6 kids by 6 different women, and like they all follow each other, and they all like get their kids together, and everybody knows everybody, and it's just one big motherfucking Brady bunch. She even was on the phone trying to like keep going, and I'm like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. Pause. What? Like, you gotta you know that sound where it's like, put your clothes back on, because I need to ask you about. It was like that moment, like, ma'am, hold on, we gotta sit at this for a minute. 6 kids by 6 different women from a man who told me he didn't have one. Part 4 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. So I left off in part 3 where I'm talking to his baby mama, and she said that he has 6 kids by 6 different women, and she is one of them. So obviously I'm on the phone, and I'm talking to this girl, and I'm like, yo, he said he didn't have no kids. Like, I'm telling her how I even asked him, like, when we first met, like, you got kids? He said no. And I'm telling her, like, look, I got kids, so I wouldn't have judged him for having, well, 6 kids is a lot. That's a crowd. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if he would have been like, yeah, I got kids, like, we could have figured that part out. And as I'm talking to her, I'm also telling her, because I'm remembering, like, damn, me and this man had a conversation about, like, you know, I asked him, does he mind talking to women with kids. And he's like, no, I don't mind talking to women. I don't mind talking to women that like already have kids. He was like, honestly, I want to have my first child with somebody who already has kids because I just feel like they'll be more experienced and like they'll be able to help me be a better dad, you know, as a first time dad, like somebody that's a woman that's already experienced, you know, that's what I actually prefer. So now that I know what I know now, the rest of this conversation I would have never had with this girl. We ended up like kind of like going back and forth on like I'm telling her like what he was telling me, and then she's kind of like debunking everything that I said. Like I'm saying like, oh, you know, he told me about a fiance that had a child and blah blah blah. She's like, well, I don't really know about a fiance, like I've never heard of that, like I don't really know. And then of course, you know, then I get to ask her more questions and more questions because I'm not going to be able to get no answers from this man, but I need to know what the fuck going on. So let me give y'all a little context on how this man is even sicker, because so he told me that he had an ex-fiance and they were together, or like they were together for 3 years, I think, and then he proposed to her. The day that he proposed to her, she told him like, I'm pregnant. He even told me like this, oh my god, he even told me like the place, like he gave me like a whole, like he set the mood, like he set the scene for me, like told me where they went, because mind you, I'm in the town that he said that, you know, like that he lived in, that he proposed to, so I know what the place that he's talking about. He's like, yeah, you know that place, da da da. He's like, yeah, so I went there and I like proposed in front of like everybody in this restaurant, and it was so nice. And then he was like, as soon as he got done proposing to his fiance, she tells him she's pregnant. So she's pregnant, they're engaged, this is gonna be, you know, his first baby. Everything's cool, everybody's happy, whatever. A couple of weeks after their engagement pregnancy announcement thing, she's like, hey, you know, she comes to him, she's like, hey, I want to go out of town with my homegirls. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. He said that he gave her money. I don't remember if he said that he gave her the money before she left or while she was in Atlanta. She texted him and asked him for money, but he was specific that at some point there was an exchange of $500. So he gives her $500. He always, so mind you, like he was always telling me like, you know, he took care of her, like they lived together, the son lived there with them, and like he always made it like wanted me to know that like he paid all the bills and like he took care of her, like that was like his thing. Like he really wanted me to know that like, you know, I'm like a provider, like I'm the man, I'm gonna take care of, you know, whatever. If I'm with my girl, I'm gonna take care of her in whatever she needs or whatever. So the $500 gets brought up. He's like, yeah, just remember that. Like as he's telling me the story, he's like, remember the $500. So I'm like, oh, okay. So he's telling me the story. She goes to Atlanta, whatever. She comes back from Atlanta. So when she comes back from Atlanta, again, this man is a gentleman. So he goes outside to her car. They lived in an apartment. What's crazy is the apartments that I was staying in at the time, he claimed that was the apartment that they were living in. Like he was like, yeah, we stayed in these apartments. I'm temporarily in these apartments because I'm only there for a little while. But he's like, yeah, this, like we were here living in this apartment. They were brand new. Like he's telling me all of these things, y'all. And he's like, yeah, so when she came back from Atlanta, you know, I go downstairs to get her stuff out of the car because again, he's a gentleman. He doesn't let people like, well, he doesn't want women to like carry bags and like shit like that. So he's like, I go downstairs to get her bags out of her car. And as I'm getting her bags out of the car, I find a paper, like a pamphlet from like Planned Parenthood, but there's also like paperwork in, like it's like a folder of from Planned Parenthood, and it has like paperwork documentation inside the folder. So he's like, I open it and I'm reading it and I'm confused. So I'm like, what the fuck? And so he's like, he gets the paper, he gets the bags, he goes upstairs. So he said he goes upstairs and puts the bags down, and he's like, yeah, so, you know, how was Atlanta? And she's all like, oh my God, I miss you so much. Like, it was such a good time. Thank you so much for letting me go. Like, she's so happy to be back or whatever. And he's like, yes, you know, how you feeling? How's the baby? And she's like, oh, you know, everything's good. Then apparently he like slams the little photo down. And he's like, so what the fuck is this? And baby girl just bust out crying. So he said they were like going back and forth. I want to say he said like at first she wouldn't say what it was. Like she was just like, oh, I went to just go get some information. It's nothing, like why would you be going like through my car type shit? And he's like, girl, why the fuck is your pregnant ass at Planned Parenthood? Like, what's tea, sis? And she just wouldn't really say nothing. So he said that he left. He was mad or whatever. And he left and he went to his mom's house. And he stayed at his mom's house for like a couple of days. And he told, like, before he left, he told her, like, you know, when you're ready to tell me what the fuck is really going on, like, then hit me up. But like, until then, I'm gonna go stay at my people's house. So he left and went and stayed at his people's house. And basically was like just staying at his mom's house, wasn't going to work, was like depressed because he was like, what the fuck happened to, what did my girl do? Like, what's up with my baby? So he said after a couple of days, I think the girl texted him and was like, can we talk? And so he's like, yeah. So then he goes back to like their apartment and she's like, so yeah, I had an abortion. And he's like, well, why the fuck would you have an abortion? Like, we're engaged, you know, we're in a good relationship, you know, I want a baby. Like, why would you get an abortion? And she said that she cheated on him because apparently this girl was in the Air Force and she was going back and forth to DC, and like she had another man in DC apparently, and she went to DC one time and was, you know, fucking on a man, didn't use protection, so she wasn't sure who the daddy was. So instead of like telling him that she, you know, cheated on him, whatever, she just went to Atlanta, got an abortion, and was like, let me just nip this in the bud. So after she confesses about the abortion, he's like, well, you know what, I can't be with you no more. Like, this is over with. I'm not even gonna like kick you out like immediately. Like, you and your son don't gotta get out right now, but like you and your son gotta go find somewhere else to live. Like, y'all can't live here no more. I'm gonna go stay at my people's house until you move out and get your shit together, like out of this place or whatever. And yeah, I never want to talk to you again. And he was like, yeah. And I never spoke to her again after that. And I'm thinking like, damn. And like, mind you, I'm in this man's face. Like, he's telling me the story.
I would have kicked her and her son out so damn fast, boy. You would have think they didn't even have a 30-day move out contingency in these contracts. I would have kicked her and her son the hell out. What? And if you wouldn't, that's your problem. That's how you end up like that. Because I don't care if it's winter on a Christmas day. The way your gifts would have been packed in some bowls and shit, you would have thought you got some gifts that would have been your whole damn life packed up and ready to go. You did not just tell me you went out of town and cheated with another man, had a baby, that had an abortion that easily. What would compel someone to tell such truths? Just lie. At this point, just lie. Just say, you know what, I didn't want to keep the baby and I got rid of it. Y'all playing with First 48. Y'all need to be knowing it. Y'all playing with First 48.
Face, and he's like almost in tears, low key. Like, I remember like consoling him, like, you know, I'm so sorry that like you went through that, because again, I'm just thinking he's this sad ass man who just wants a family so bad, and he just is shit out of fucking luck because, you know, the bitch was trifling and she fucking cheated. So he even tells me about like the ring. Like, he's like, you know, I had my mom hit her up because he's like, I never wanted to speak to her again. Like, I was like dead ass standing on business. I never want to talk to her again. So he was like, I had my mom reach out to her to like mail me the ring back, but she never would. So I only have the band, like the band part to the ring. Y'all, I found the band part to this ring. One time I was like looking for something. Actually, I was probably snooping. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I was like looking through his shit and I found the fucking wedding band. And I remember this is how y'all know I'm funny. But anyways, I remember putting it on and like taking a picture of it and sending it to my best friend. Like, bitch, I think this is the band that he said that he had when he fucking engaged or fucking proposed to the girl. And she was like, bitch, why do you have that on? But anyway, so yeah, that was the whole story with the ex-fiance. And so I was kind of telling a little bit about that to the baby mama. And she's like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Like, I've never heard that. So I'm not, like, I can't tell you if that's true or not. So also, as I'm talking to the baby mama, she tells me about another girl that she had messaged that was also in the same town and had been talking to him around like the same time that I'm talking to him. So I remember it was Easter. I stayed the night at his house the day before Easter. So Easter morning, when he got up to go to work, I got up and I went home. And he's like, you know, like, we're regular shit. I'll see you later. When I get off work. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now during the day, he was kind of like mentioning to me that like his brother or somebody might be coming in town. So he might be like linking with his brother and his peoples when he gets off work. So he wasn't sure if we was going to link the night of Easter, but he would like let me know because, you know, the people was like not sure or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. As the baby mama is talking, she's telling me like, oh yeah, I was talking to this girl and she basically said like, yeah, I just cut him off because I was over there on Easter and something was off about him and I feel like he was lying. So when I left his house on Easter, I cut him off and I didn't talk to him no more. Part 5 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. So I left off in the last video that his baby mama was telling me about a girl that she had just messaged that told her that she cut him off because when she was at his house on Easter, shit was like weird and she just felt like it was off. So when she left, she just cut him off. And the baby mama was saying like, oh, this makes sense because I was asking him if I could come down there on Easter to bring the baby so that they could spend Easter together. And he was like, no. But it's like, yeah, bitch, he said no because he was juggling me and Shorty. And not only that, the other girl was at his house on Easter with her kids. Yeah. So after that day that I talked to the baby mama, I ended up hitting up the other girl because I'm like, what in the fuck? So I hit the other girl up and me and her get to chopping it up. And she's like, yeah, girl, like I met him in January. I don't remember where she said they met, but she basically was saying like, I met him in January and, you know, we've been talking ever since. She doesn't live in the same town, but she lives like in Alabama. So she was like driving to like see him. Like she would drive from wherever she was from. I don't remember. Wherever she lived, and she would like come to see him and she would always stay at his house and she would bring her kids with her. And again, she didn't know that he had kids. He kicked it to her like, I don't even have no kids. So when she would come and bring her kids, he would be like playing with her kids. Like she even showed me pictures of him playing with her kids in his living room on Easter. She said that he like was telling her like, yeah, come see me, I miss you, whatever. And so she's like, okay, well, after I get done on Easter with my kids, like I'm gonna come that way before I head home. She was somewhere else, I don't fucking know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But she's like, I'm gonna head to see your house, I'm gonna stay the night at your house, and then we'll get up in the morning and we'll go home like after Easter, whatever. So she said that she came into town, picked up his keys because he was at work, picked up his keys from him at work, went to his place, and then her and the kids was like sitting there chilling. She even sent me a picture of like when she first got there because she was like, she walked in the house and there was no food in there. And so she had went to get her kids some food. So there's a picture of her kids sitting at his island, like eating fucking dinner, like waiting on their fucking stepdaddy to get home from fucking work. And she was just like telling me everything, like telling me like, yeah, when I was in there wasn't nothing there. Because I'm asking her, I'm like, you ain't seen none of my shit in there? And she was like, no, girl, I don't know what he did with your shit, but it was not in there. And I'm like, this is so crazy. And then
The amount of time and energy that is taken to do all this cheating. Now, mind you, he was taking her shoes off, making sure she had a certain schedule set up for her every time she came over. He have all these things ready. He even warmed the damn towel up. Now, imagine having that much time on your hand and still entertaining somebody else. This man was juggling two women on the same holiday. He's taking in everybody's kids except his own. Mind you, he has 6 kids. My kids can't come over on Easter, but your kids can. He just inviting new women over with kids. I know men like this. When you involve women with kids, you realize the mother baby daddies be on some weird shit. They'll take on everybody's kids but they own. That's wild to me. You over here playing stepdaddy, but got real kids in the world that need you, and not make this shit up. And I don't even know why she's still invested. The way when somebody said they got 6 kids and they said they have none, and you found out they have 6, that's when you just stop. You ain't got a kid with them, so why are you still here? The other baby mama just clearly messy as fuck. She wants that man back, and that's the vibe I'm getting from it. She wants him back, so she's trying to tell all these other women to get out the way because she wants another kid with him, and she don't care that he got 6 kids. But you might, so I'm gonna go tell you everything that's going on. That's what I feel like the other baby mama's doing. She messy as hell because she really just trying to clear out the playing field. She really want him by herself. Yep. What y'all think, Messy family? You think the baby mama is trying to get her baby daddy back, or what y'all thinking so far? It's this far in the video. But let me know, and let's lock in and keep watching.
And she's like, yeah, well, I was there, I stayed the night. And then he got up the next day and went to work, and it was like, you know, y'all don't gotta leave right now, like just come bring me my keys whenever you are ready to hit the road. So she says she like slept in, and like then the next day she took the keys or whatever. But she was also telling me like, you know, this man was perfect. Like he was a gentleman. He was getting the stuff out of the car, he was setting the fucking mood in the bathroom for the shower. Like she was like, girl, he was always making sure that like I had to do nothing. He was taking care of the kids, like putting them to sleep and like doing all this stuff. Like she was like, this man was so perfect. Like I really was like fucking with him, and I thought that we were gonna end up being something. But she was like, something on Easter like made her feel weird or whatever. Like she just said like he was acting different, or like something happened. I don't remember exactly, but something happened to where when she left his house on Easter, she was like, yeah, I'm just not fucking with him no more. So she just stopped talking to him. So now back to the conversation with the baby mama. The baby mama is then going into detail after she tells me about like the other girl, and we kind of like, you know, sort all that out. She's going back and she's telling me like about how they met. Like she met him a long time ago, I think when she was like 12 years old, whatever. They went to high school together, and then she got pregnant after high school. And then she tells me like, yeah, after I got pregnant, she finds out that another girl is pregnant at the same time as her. So then she's telling me like he always told her like, you know, he really wants to do right by her daughter, and like he really wants to have another kid because he wasn't there whenever their child was born, and apparently he wasn't there when any of his kids were born. She tells me that like he wasn't there when none of his kids were born, so like we were talking about having another baby so like he could feel like he did it like the right way. Like he was saying he really wanted to be there, you know, for like the birth and like all the stuff that he missed with all his kids. Like that's something that he really wanted, and once they got their whole shit together, they had another baby, he was gonna do it the right way. So then I'm asking her, like, again, I'm trying to ask her everything that, like, he told me to see if, like, you know, she could tell me what's up. So I say, so is he adopted? This girl said, no, he's not adopted. I'm like, he's not adopted. So at the time, I'm like, he's not adopted. What do you mean he's not adopted? So he's not 28. He does have kids and he's not adopted. I mean, that's not really like, I don't really give a fuck. But like, why did you lie about being fucking adopted? Now stay with me because that's going to be important here shortly. Now, when the baby mama first wrote me, like, I feel like her intentions at the time, I thought her intentions were pure. Like she was saying like, you know, I just wanted to give you all the information so that you can make your own decision, like if you wanted to still fuck with him or not, but I needed you to know like the real him type shit. And I'm like, you know what, girl, thank you, because what in the fuck, like who is this person that, like the person that you're telling me about, I don't know him. I know the 28-year-old with no kids that was treating me like a fucking princess. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm thinking her intentions are pure. I'm thinking she's all like girl type shit. Like I'm just looking out for you, girl. Like this is who the fuck he really is. So take with that information as you will. If you choose to fuck with him, that's on you. But just know he's a fucking liar. Oh, and he's not 32. He's 33. He turned 34 this year, and the girl was basically telling me like, you know, the baby mama, she was telling me like, you know, he's like the only dude that I've ever really like been with because he met me when I was young. I'm 27 and he's 33, so like I've been like in love and like stuck on him because, you know, he met me young and whatever the fuck. And then she's telling me that he really moved to Alabama because like he wanted to like, I guess, live this life that the life that he wanted to live, like be able to tell people what the fuck he wanted to tell them instead of actually being like in his true fucking self. Like he wanted to like start over and have like a life, this life that he created in his fucking head. And he didn't want to have like the drama of like his baby mamas and his kids. So basically he said, I'm fucking leaving home and I'm going over to this other state and I'm about to start me a whole new fucking life. Fuck y'all. Y'all, so I also forgot, because I'm listening to the voicemail between me and the baby mama. I forgot that. So when I confronted him about the baby on Wednesday, because the baby mama actually messaged me on Tuesday, but it was in my requested messages and I didn't see it until Wednesday. But on Tuesday, he texted me like in the morning, was like, hey baby, I'm going to delete my Instagram because I want to take like a social media cleanse. Now, mind y'all, this man is not no fucking influencer. Like he does not have a bunch of fucking followers. I think he has like 1,000 something followers. His page is private. Like he has like this little business that he's trying to do. So like all he ever posts about is like his business. This nigga's Instagram is not popping to where you would feel like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. Let me take a break. But at the time, I'm like, who am I to fucking judge or fucking bring up your fucking spiritual healing journey, whatever he fucking kicked it to me as. He was basically saying like, I'm about to leave my social media because I need a break or whatever. So I'm like, cool, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But as I'm talking to the baby mama, she's like, yeah, he was trying to delete his Instagram before I found you because I was on his ass. I was asking him like, who are these girls that you got coming in and out of your house? And then she started doing like her research and shit on Instagram, and he was trying to deactivate it before he could find me and he could find the Easter girl. So the man deleted his Instagram, but then the day after I confronted him, so he deleted it on Tuesday, and then it was either like Monday night, Tuesday morning, and then we get into it Wednesday, and then we don't talk Wednesday and Thursday, but then Friday the fucking Instagram is back. So what kind of fucking 2-day cleanse realignment did you need from social media and now you back good? No, nigga, you was trying to be 2 steps ahead, but your baby mama is quick. When I first met him, he also told me that he went to California to go to school to finish his degree to be like a sports agent. He said that California ended up being expensive, so he ended up moving back to Alabama to finish school. And then he tried to be like a sports agent or something, or manager or something, and he did not like that. The baby mama was like, girl, he never even fucking finished college. I actually think she said he never even went to college. And so then I'm telling her, like, okay, so that's a lie too. And then you say he's not adopted. I saw pictures of his adopted mom. He showed me pictures and text messages of his adopted mom. So who is this fucking lady? She's like, girl, I don't know who this lady is. And I'm like, he literally said that we're going to go eat dinner with his adopted mom. And she's like, well, girl, I don't know who that is. Like, I'm not sure about that. I don't know. So then she starts telling me, like, yeah, I talk to him all the time, like when he's at work from his other phone. Part 6 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. So I left off in part 5 how the baby mama was saying that.
All right, before we get into this one, this part 6, do y'all just feel like maybe he just lied to all of them? Maybe he is adopted, right? Maybe he just told. I feel like deep down, not even deep down, I feel like the reason why he's lying is because he don't ever want y'all to meet up. First of all, I'm surprised he ain't lied about his damn name. Because if y'all meet up, technically, if you're talking about a man and she's talking about a man, but she's talking about a 28-year-old man and she's talking about a 33-year-old man, I ain't talking about the same man. That's what he's thinking in his head, but common sense clearly didn't strike him because they got photos of him, they got text messages of him, they got everything that just shows that this is really him. He's a liar. His age is not what he said it was. And I don't even see why she's still invested at this point. I would have turned my back and walked away. Like, I got 2 kids to worry about. I ain't about to get tied up in this family of 6 drama. Because now you really got 8 kids if you dealing with them. But like I said, I thought she was about to talk more about that baby mama who's pretty much giving up all of this information about how she thought she was doing it for the good reasons. But she never really touched on it yet. So let's see. But I believe that girl, I'm still thinking that the baby mama only is telling her all this stuff so she can get her the hell out the way. Because she's obviously perfectly fine with it. She knew he had 6 baby mamas and she still decided, I want to have another kid with you because I don't want to have 2 baby daddies. It's the mindset of some of these women.
They talk on the phone all the time while he's at work on his second phone. Now, mind you, I knew he had 2 phones. I had 2 phones at the time too, so I didn't care. Like, who am I to judge? I got 2 phones too, so whatever. But he told me that his second phone was his work phone. It even had a damn screensaver as his job. So who am I to be like, again, I just believed everything he said because I didn't fucking think he was lying. I didn't care. Whole time he was using that phone to talk to his baby mamas, his kids. I don't think it's a work phone. I don't even know at this point if it's a work phone or not. I never got to the bottom of that, but whole time I'm just thinking he has such a second phone for work and whatever. But it's actually the phone that he actually uses to talk to his kids and their moms. So me and the baby mama talked on the phone. We had to talk on the phone for like 2 hours. Like, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like, we sat on the phone for a minute and she was just saying like all this stuff. She even at one point called his sister on 3-way and was trying to get the sister to like collaborate, with her, like, like tell this girl this and that and this and that. And the sister got on the phone and was like talking to me saying like, I need to stop talking to her and I need to not listen to anything that she's saying because he called to his sister and his mom back at home telling them that he loves me and that he wanted to marry me and that she was crazy. Basically, the sister was like she was crazy and then she ended up banging and hung up. So then the baby mama is basically like talking shit about them, saying like his family, they just they just corroborate his stories and they just back him up and they don't hold him accountable for nothing. Then she's talking shit about the whole family. And so then at that point I'm like, okay, this is getting a little like too much. So I'm like, okay, like thank you for all the information. I appreciate it. Again, at the time she was very nice, she was very sweet. I just really thought she had like great intentions on just telling me, like be careful. That's really what I thought she was coming for. So once I got everything that I needed, and then after the whole sister thing, it was just got kind of weird. And so I was just like, all right, girl, well, I'll talk to you later, and we get off the phone. So that conversation with the baby mama happened on the Thursday. Now, mind you, I said that weekend we were supposed to go out of town. So he left Friday with his friends to go out of town for the little birthday trip. Now, we still haven't spoken. Like, we didn't talk no more on Wednesday. We didn't talk at all on Thursday. We didn't talk on Friday. Now, this is where it gets a little, y'all don't be mad at me now. So on Saturday, I go to a concert. I'm drinking. I'm having a good time. And I just started crashing out. Y'all know how it is when y'all get drunk, okay? Like, blame it on the alcohol. Y'all heard what Jamie Foxx said. Blame it on the alcohol. So I'm drunk and I'm crashing out. I'm blowing this man phone up because I'm just like, I want to know why he lied to me. Like, why would he be all that perfect and then just fucking lie like that? Like, what was the point behind all the motherfucking lies? So he had me blocked. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm not even about to sit up here and cap. He had me blocked. So I started calling him from this girl phone that I was with. I'm like blowing his shit up. I'm blowing it up, blowing it up, blowing it up, blowing it up. He answers it. He's like, hello. And I'm like, yo, like, it's me. We need to talk. Like, yo, hit me or like something. Like, we need to talk. And he's just like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. And I'm like, no, we got to talk, my dude. So he was also out, and now he doesn't drink. I don't drink like that. We're both like social drinkers. We don't drink like that. So one or two drinks were lit. So he's already out like with his friends too. So he's drunk as well. So I'm blowing up his phone. I'm drunk. He's drunk. We're just like, really nothing is getting accomplished here. We're really just getting on the phone for 2 seconds. I think either him hanging up, I'm hanging up, then we call him back, and then it was just going back and forth. Then we get the texting, and I'm like, call me. I need to know why you was lying to me. Da 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 da. So I'm crashing out on the man's phone. I'm not gonna cap. So he unblocks me. He finally unblocks me because the friends are telling him like, you need to talk to her. Like, I don't even know what he even told the friends, because mind you, the friends the whole time they're thinking I'm coming on a trip. So I don't even know what he told the friends. The reason why I didn't come on the trip, because it was like last minute. Remember, this shit happened on Wednesday. They went out of town on Friday. So I don't even know what he told the friends on why I didn't come on the trip. But I know he said that he told them like that we kind of like fell off or whatever. And so when I was like blowing up his phone, the friends are like, you just need to talk to her. Like, just fix it, because he done told them about me, told them that like he loved me, he want to be with me, he want to marry me, whatever. Like, we was locked in, like whatever, like shit was going good or whatever. And so they're like, well, what the fuck, like fix it with her, like we already know how you feel about her, so like answer the phone, fix it with her. So they're telling him like, answer the phone, what is wrong with you, answer the phone. So he unblocks me, and then we're like going back and forth. Now again, I was drunk, and I think we was doing this from like maybe 11 o'clock at night to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We ended up falling asleep on the phone and everything, but I really don't really remember much of the conversation. The only things that I remember him saying is like that he lied to me because he like self-sabotages. Again, he was drunk. So anything that he said that night, I really don't want to hold against him, because like I already know, like when you drunk, you just be saying shit. Like, you don't even really know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? Because even for me, I was just going off. I don't even really fucking know what I said. But he was basically like, he was trying to tell me why he lied, but it wasn't making no sense. So we're not even going to even dive into like that conversation, because it doesn't really matter. Anyways, we ended up falling asleep on the phone that night. And then we talked a little bit the next morning. So that was Saturday. So then Sunday, we ended up like I said, we ended up falling asleep on the phone. So when I wake up on Sunday morning, we're still on the phone, and I'm like, yo, and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, we need to talk. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, when I get back, you know, like, just give me some time. When I get back, we gonna talk. So we didn't talk that day, I don't think. I want to say it was still a couple days until we ended up talking, and he showed up to my apartment with roses and a letter and like all my little favorite snacks, and he was like, you know, can we talk? So I let him in, y'all, so that we could talk. All I'm gonna say, because I don't remember his full-blown explanation at the time. I don't remember what he said on like why he lied. I don't remember, like, I really don't remember our whole back and forth. But what I will say is the man got a mouthpiece on him. So whatever he said, I was like, you know, okay, like we could just like figure this out. Like, let's just try to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not beef. Let's not be going back and forth. Like, let's just sit down.
Now we see why this man got 6 baby mamas and 6 kids. This game really works. We're watching it work in front of our face. This woman has gotten undeniable, overwhelming evidence against this man. And she still says, we can make it work. Now, mind you, this is the one that doesn't have a kid with him. We can still make it work. Oh my goodness. I can't even hate on this man at this point. This is good game. I'm wondering how he was able. He told all the women the same lies. They all end up figuring it out one by one. And they all eventually probably went on to still be a baby mama. I'm surprised that she's not. Let's see if she becomes a baby mama in this story. Because if I find out they had a kid in this story, I'm going to lose my shit. Because this is crazy. Dude, this is macking one-on-one. I don't advise men to do this, because not all women, you're not going to be. One of them might take you out. All right, you already got one that's crazy enough to keep on going around. That's going to be the one to take you out for real. When she realized that it's a for sure closed door, she's going to do the worst shit she ever. But let's just see.
Down and, you know, let me ask you these questions that I have, and you can tell me, you know, what's going on, and we can figure this out. So I started to tell him, I'm like, well, you told me to go talk to your baby mama, so that's what I did. And this is what she said. So I'm telling him everything the baby mama tells me, and I'm like, she said you got 6 kids by 6 different women. She tells me that you're 33, you're not 28. She tells me like you don't have no degree. Like, she tells me all this stuff. I'm telling him everything that she told me. Now, he was like, yes, he did lie about his age. I never actually got a real explanation behind why he lied about his age. I have my own theory on why I feel like he lied about his age, but I don't know why he lied about his age, y'all. I don't know. But he did tell me he does not have 6 kids by 6 different women. He has 4 kids by 3 women. And whole time I'm thinking like, if this baby mama is like going so hard, like she must be like the first baby, either the first baby mama or the last baby mama. She's the middle baby mama. So it didn't make any sense to me. I was confused as fuck, because I'm like, if this is the middle baby mama, why the fuck is she going so hard? You done had kids after her or on her or whatever. What the fuck? She's the middle baby mama. I don't know. So when the baby mama was sending me like screenshots and stuff, like he was like talking to her like, good morning baby, and all this I love you and the whole family shit. Like none of that shit was a lie. He was doing all of that, and he said that he does that because that's the only way that he can like communicate with his daughter peacefully. If he pretends that he loves her and he wants to be with her and he wants to make it work with her, then he's able to have a decent relationship with his daughter outside of like being cool with her. Then it's like dramified. He can't ever speak to her. She be blocking him on the baby tablet, and he just wants to be a dad to his daughter, and the only way to keep the peace is to pretend that he wants to be with the baby mama, the crazy baby mama. He then go on to like explain to me like the kids and their ages and their names, and like tells me about the other baby mamas, and like he has a decent relationship with the other moms. The other moms are cool. You know, they've moved on with their life, so there's no drama. He takes care of his kids, you know, how he's supposed to, and it's nothing. The only problem that he has is with that baby mama. So then, of course, he starts to making me feel bad. Like, damn, maybe I shouldn't even hit her up. But you're the one that told me to talk to her. So then that's your fault. You should never tell me to talk to her. You should tell me what I needed to know so that I didn't have to talk to her. But then he's like basically saying like, you know, now he's probably not going to be able to talk to his daughter because she's going cuckoo nuts because I done told her all this stuff and now she's mad and blah, 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 blah. So we basically sit there and talk for like a couple of hours, and he's still like telling me stuff and trying to, I guess, get the truth out. I'm asking him a bunch of questions. Again, I don't remember. I didn't record this part, y'all, so I don't remember. I can't really tell y'all what, you know, we ended up talking about. But, you know, we ended up talking, and then he ended up leaving, and we kind of just were, you know, still being cool and still going out and still kicking it while I was in Alabama. But then that damn baby mama, the damn baby mama starts going nuts. Part 7 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. So yes, y'all, I'm admitting to the fact that I went back. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a second to digest that. Don't do me too bad in these comments though, but I did go back, and we did kick it for the remainder of my time in Alabama. Now, I'm not trying to say that he was not wrong for fucking lying to me, because he was wrong as fuck for lying to me. Oh, and I did ask him why the fuck he put my shit outside, and he basically said he was scared to like face me. Like he was like, basically like, after you started asking me all these questions that I didn't really want to give you no answers to, baby, I was not trying to see your face. I was not trying to be around you. I didn't know what to do, so I just had to get your shit the fuck up out of there and avoid you. It's basically what he said. He apologized and like all that, but like once I asked him, like, now why the fuck would you put my shit outside, nigga? He was basically like, look, I was just avoiding you because I didn't know what to do. I was caught off guard. I ain't had my shit together. You really goddamn, you caught me up. So he did apologize for putting my shit outside. And that was also his explanation for like flipping on me. Remember, I was like, you know, like I seen this nigga switch up on me like right in my face. That was also his reason for switching up on me, because he was fucking caught. He didn't know what to say. So he was like, you know, I didn't know what to say. Like you was coming at me with all these truths that I wasn't ready to tell my truth. So that was also the reason why he said he switched up on me. But honestly, after he came back from the trip and we talked and he apologized or whatever, and we kind of like started back talking and started back kicking it, he was right back to Mr. fucking Prince Charming. He was back to Prince Charming. He was rubbing my feet every night, taking my boots off, cooking, cleaning. I didn't have to do nothing. We was going back on dates. Like we went to a concert together. Like we was just back kicking it, having a good old time. Like I'm not gonna hold y'all. It was a great time. Maybe not for a long time, but it was a good time. So for the next couple of days after, me and him done, linked up and figured everything out, the baby mama is still texting me. At the time, I had 2 phones. So she had my other number. So I never really carried that phone around, but she was texting my other phone. So the day after me and him had got back cool, she sent me this long message. And apparently she accidentally sent it to me. It was a long message. It was basically she said it was to the sister, because she ended up calling me oh, my bad, I meant for that message to go to the sister, not you. But it was a long message. And in the message to the sister, she's kind of insinuating that the sister is telling her not to believe me, because she's saying y'all keep saying strangers in my ear, man, them girls not lying. So basically she's insinuating in this message that the sister was telling her you don't need to believe that girl. You don't even know that girl. Believe my brother. So I don't fucking know. And when I asked her, I sent her question marks. So I'm like, girl, I don't even really understand this message. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Wrong person. So then me and him, we didn't follow each other back on Instagram for a couple of days. So we had went to the Airbnb with all his friends to watch a game. And the night that I think this might have been 2 or 3 nights after we made up. And the night that we were at the Airbnb, we followed each other back on Instagram. I kid you not, literally maybe 10 to 15 minutes after we followed each other on Instagram, she texts my other phone. So I didn't see it until the next day because like I said, I don't be hearing that phone around. So the next day I go to check the phone and there's a message from her in the phone. And she's texting me and she says, hey, sorry for texting you so late, but can you tell him to give me $35 for childcare this week? Or can you give it to me since y'all made up and you're aware of everything now? So I'm like, what? First of all, I'm not giving you a motherfucking thing. You will not get 35 cents out of me, baby. But I'm like, all right, I guess I'll tell him to give me $35. First of all, what childcare you get for $35? Because that's cheap. But yeah, I'll tell him. I never texted her back because it's I kind of didn't want to be the messenger, or I didn't really want to get into it with her, because now I'm feeling girl, now you're just trying to be fucking funny because I'm not giving you $35. Be fucking for real. So I mean, I obviously did tell him. I'm like, well, she said this, and now he's at this point, he's just block her. She's just gonna keep bothering you and saying shit. So if you if you want to kick it with me and still be doing this with me, you should just block her. But you know how us women are. I'm feeling no, nigga, why are you telling me to block her? Because you don't want her to tell me no more shit about you. So no, I'm not blocking her, but whatever. So I'm gonna be honest, it was never really the same. It was the same as far as the way he was treating me, and we were kicking it, but the trust was that shit was gone. So it was always if she said something to me, I'm coming to him now why the fuck would she say this, da, da, da? Because the girl, she's persistent. She was constantly texting the phone, constantly writing me on Instagram. She was constantly calling me on the phone, calling me on Instagram. She just wanted to know why was I back made up with him? Am I dumb? She done told me all this shit. Girl, I guess she thought that me and her was gonna click up on some team fuck her baby daddy type shit. And when I, went against the grain and went back to the man, kinda, she felt I was being shady and I betrayed her. Listen, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. Leave me alone. I don't got that much time left here in Alabama. Now, it comes to the point where I need to leave Alabama and go back to where I was living at before I went to Alabama. And, we were sad. We were oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Now I'm about to go and this is the end of it. So I end up flying home the next day and we're still communicating or whatever. But once I left there, shit got spooky. So once I left there, shit got crazy because the baby mama was just hitting me up every single day. Oh, you think that's your man? Oh, you think that's your man? He's doing this and I'm glad that you're gone now because I got my man back and blah, 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 blah. I mean, this girl was harassing me every single day. She's sending me screenshots of all of these text messages. So then, I'm going back to him because I'm I'm dumb. But I'm why is she so persistent? What's tea, sis? What's really going on? Are you really trying to fuck with her? Or what are you doing? Why are you doing all this? And I mean, he's still saying the same thing. I'm not talking to her. I've blocked her. I'm not even, Some days I can't even talk to my daughter because she's blocking me on the daughter's iPad. Like, I don't know why she's bothering you so much. Like, I don't know. So I'm getting mad. I'm like, well, make her stop. Like, tell her to leave me the fuck alone. It's like, I done told her that, you know, like, me and her ain't got shit going on. I just want to be a dad to my baby. And she don't give a fuck. She's like, no, if you're going to be with her, then I'm going to make it difficult for you. So it was making shit real rocky between us. But I think I was gone for like maybe like a month, and he was like, I think you should come back. Like, you know, we just need to like spend some time together before you move all the way to Hawaii. So let's just plan for you to come back so that we can like, I guess, feel better about the situation or something. So we start planning for my trip back to Alabama, y'all. Part 8 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. So yes, y'all, we started planning a trip for me to go back to Alabama. So I was supposed to go back, I think, for like a week. So we planned for me to go back to Alabama for a week to spend some time before I moved to Hawaii. Now, in between the time of us planning this trip and when I was supposed to go on this trip, shit was just going nuts. The baby mama was going crazy. She was, at this point, instead of just harassing me on the internet, she started messaging my baby daddy. She was messaging my best friend. She was commenting on all of our stuff. She was commenting on my baby daddy's Instagram posts, talking shit about me, saying I'm a dumb, easy whore. And she was writing my best friend saying like, girl, you need to be a better friend to her. Your friend's dumb as fuck. Like, get your fucking friend, basically, blah, blah, blah. She's commenting on my Instagram pictures every day, calling me a slut and a hoe, and I'm dumb, and I'm easy, and I'm green, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm this. I mean, the bitch was going in on me. At this point, she's super duper fucking mad. And you know how, like, for me, I'm like, why the fuck does she hate me so much? Like, why is she bothering me so bad? So if she's getting on me, I'm getting on this nigga. Because I'm like, get your fucking baby mama. I mean, because I'm a baby mama, so first of all, I would never, ever do that. Like, not trying to say nothing bad about my baby daddy, but we're not together. I don't want him. It's strictly about the kids. So I'm not doing all of that behind my baby daddy. And so I just felt like, you know, if it's just about the kids for y'all, like, why the fuck is she going so hard? And, you know, of course, he's just like, because she wants to be with me and I don't want to be with her. And she's mad at you because I want to be with you. But I'm just like, it's still not clicking for me because I'm like, this girl cannot be that mad because first of all, when she hit me up the first time, she didn't hit me up on no like, that's my man, bitch, get away from him type shit. She hit me up on some like, I'm done with him. I'm just letting you know that this is who he is. So, you know, like take this information and do what you want with it. And bitch, I decided to take it and go back to him and figure out what the fuck was going on. So I just really could not wrap my mind around why the fuck she was bothering me so much, harassing my family members, like just doing the fucking most. So of course that's causing like, you know, rift between us. So we're arguing, we're going back and forth at it like every day, and we ended up like cutting each other off like a couple of times before I went to Alabama. Like shit was just real rocky. And I know y'all are probably like, girl, why the fuck are you still talking to him? I don't know. Okay, I need to go talk to that fucking lady. But I kept dealing with it. We kept going back and forth. We kept getting like back together, like talking again. And I don't fucking know. Okay, I don't fucking know.
I know. You want the answer or what? It's because he loves bombing you. You told us the whole story time. The reason why you stick behind him is because you've never met a man that can hold a conversation, that'll take your shoes off, wipe your ass, make your water, warm your blankets up, warm your towels up, warm your wash rags up. Y'all got dinner plans every night. Of course, I know. I think the viewers, y'all know Messy Family. Am I tripping? But that's why you still around, and that's why she's still around. He's doing this to everyone. Y'all need some brothers in y'all lives, man. Y'all need some. I got you. Subscribe here. I got you. I'm gonna start telling y'all how it is, man. I don't care. I'm in a relationship. I can be honest. I don't need nobody to watch this video. So I might as well just go ahead and be open and honest with y'all about why she's going through this and why a lot of women go through this. Because y'all don't know. Men will love bomb you to death. Do you understand what that means? That means years. It don't just stop after the first week. Some men like him that's aged and mature a little bit, not all the way mature, but he's aged, right? He has a lot of little experience when it comes to this. So he knows if he keep love bombing you 100%, you're gonna deal with those 6 baby mamas. You say it's only 3 and 4 babies. I don't think you really care to know if it's more than 4. You don't even know all 4 anyways. It don't even seem like it. Seems like you only know 1. So he can sit here and say it's 6, or he can say it's 4, because even the middle one probably won't even know. But hey, you asked the question of why you still there. This is why I believe you're still there. What do you think, Messy Family? Drop it in the comments right now. We almost there. We almost to the finish line.
So it's time for me to get ready for my trip to Alabama. Now, at this point, like, shit was just feeling real weird between us. Right before I was supposed to go on a trip, and I was telling my best friend, like, you know, I don't really want to go, but I have stuff at his house and I really want to get my shit back. And I just feel like I don't trust him, because you remember the last time when I fucking needed my shit, he put it outside. I'm not in Alabama no more. So if he puts my shit outside this time, it's just out fucking side. So I was telling my best friend, like, okay, even though I'm not really like feeling this, you know, whole situation no more, I'm just gonna go there and get my shit, and like I'm gonna come back. But then, like, I think like 2 days before my flight, like, I started to get like cold feet on the whole like just go and come right back type shit. Like, I'm like, well, maybe I'm just gonna stay the whole week, because, you know, maybe it'll just be a good time and it'll just be the last time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be like for real the last time, because now I'm about to move all the way across the world and off for damn sure and come back to Alabama. So shit between us was already rocky, because like the communication was kind of off. Like, he wasn't being his normal sweet self. Like, shit was just weird as fuck. So the day before I'm supposed to fly there, he's all like, oh, I'm super tired, so when I get off work, like, I'm just gonna go home and take a nap, so I'll just hit you like when I get up from my nap. Now, any person in the world that's a woman knows that that's code for when I get home from work, I got a bitch over and I'm not finna be talking to you while she here, so I'm gonna hit you up when the bitch leave. Now, I could be crazy, but that's just where my motherfucking mind went. So I already got an attitude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nigga, all right, I got you. When I get there, I'm going to figure out who the fuck has been in your motherfucking house. So he goes off work. He gets off work. He tells me, like, I'm off work. I'm about to take a nap. I'm going to hit you later. I'm just like, whatever. So he goes to sleep. He's sleeping for a couple hours. Then this nigga calls me at like 8 o'clock at night with the craziest fucking story in America. This man tells me that when he came home from work, he was so tired that he left his keys in the door and somebody robbed him while he was sleeping. Now, why I say this is a crazy ass story? Because what they stole from him was shoes. This man has PS5s, a television, a fucking car. If you left the keys in your door, why the fuck they didn't steal your car? What kind of dumbass robbers are these? Now, the only reason why I wasn't believing this story is because the shoes that were supposedly stolen were the shoes that I bought him. Right. So now, if you're a woman, you already know I'm going into an investigation mode. I'm like, so you're telling me that some stupid little robber saw some keys hanging on a door, came into your house, you're in there sleeping in your bedroom with the door closed, so you don't hear none of these people, or I don't know if it was people or persons, walking from your front door all the way past your bedroom, into your bathroom, into your closet, to then steal shoes? Right. So he's all like, oh, I gotta call the police, and then I gotta do a police report, and I gotta do, like, he thinks he's making it believable, but he's not making a motherfucking lick of fucking sense. I'm, again, same situation, trying to ask him questions, and he's not trying to answer them. He's all like, I don't got time to be answering all these questions right now. Like, I gotta go tell the police and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, then why the fuck did you call me to tell me about it if you ain't trying to answer my motherfucking questions? Nigga, I'm trying to help you figure out what the fuck is going on, because this makes no fucking sense. So what was real trippy is he said on the phone with me when he called me, he's like, yeah, I gotta make a police report. I gotta call the police so I can make a police report. I'm gonna call you back. So I'm like, yeah, okay. While we're not on the phone, I'm already thinking, let me tell y'all what I was thinking. I was thinking that he was fucking with a bitch and he went to sleep and the bitch robbed him, because his feet ain't that goddamn big. So the bitch was like, ooh, I like these. I'm taking these bitches. And she fucking left with him. So I'm thinking he's corroborating this whole story about being robbed midday during his fucking nap, because he doesn't want to tell the truth that he had a bitch in his house that stole the shoes that I bought him. Now, as I'm waiting for him to call me back, I'm also texting him and I'm like, are the police there? Like, is everything okay? You know, I'm trying to go along with it. Like, are you okay? Like, did they take anything else? Have you checked? I don't remember if they only took that one pair of shoes or if they took like multiple pairs of shoes. I really can't remember. I'm just thinking in my head, why the fuck did these dumbass robbers not take your TV? Or why do they walk past your PS5 that sits in the open on your TV stand and take that? Like, what the fuck made them just go into your room and take shoes? That's why I thought it was a girl. Because if it's a bitch, she knew them fucking shoes was in there. She won't worry about that motherfucking PS5 or that car. She wanted them shoes because she could fit them. But he's just like being rude and very short in the text messages. So I'm like, you know, let me leave him the fuck alone, because if he really got robbed, then I mean, he's probably mad. Or like he's trying to figure out what the fuck to say next because he don't want me to catch him up with this bitch. So he eventually calls me back, but he has such a fucking attitude. He's like telling me, I'm like, so did the police show up? He's like, yeah, they been came. Mind you, we weren't even off the phone that long. We honestly were not even off the phone long enough for him to call them, for them to come, and for him to do a police report. So now I'm confused because I'm like, how did you just do all of that so fast? Like, what are you talking about? But he's lying, probably. I still don't know. I never got to the bottom of that. But he's lying, so he's getting an attitude with me because I'm asking too many questions and he don't have no answers for me because he's just not a quick liar. That was the day before I was flying there. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'm flying there. I'm getting my shit. I'm getting the fuck on because I don't know what is wrong with this man. And at this point, I'm over it. Like, it's just not fun anymore. So I still pack my little bag. I get on the flight and I go to Alabama the next day. Part 9 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. So I left off in part 8, how things were a little rocky between us while I had went back home, and I was supposed to be flying out to Alabama the next day, and apparently this man gets robbed the night before I was supposed to come. So after the whole robbery thing, I was just so annoyed because I'm like, 1, shit has already been rocky between us. 2, I still think that you're a fucking liar, and obviously I'm just not gonna be able to believe anything that comes out of your mouth because you're just a fucking liar at this point. And then 3, it was just giving me like a sign because I was telling you how I was contemplating like going and just enjoying the week or just going to get my stuff and come right back. And I feel like it was just giving me a sign of like, yeah, I think your mind needs to be made up on going to get your stuff and coming right back. So do that. So 2 days before me leaving, I spent like the whole day packing up my bags. Like I had 2 bags. I was going to take 2 bags because I needed it for like clothes and shoes for like the whole time I was there. And the night before, after we got off the phone, because again, he got an attitude and was like, well, I'm just going to go to sleep because he was acting fake mad. So that night, I just unpacked all my shit because I'm like, I don't even need all this stuff. I'm not staying there long. I'm literally going to be there for 24 hours. I'm going to take a bag just so that he believes that I'm going to be. Like, I'm going to take a big bag so that he thinks I have a lot of stuff. But I'm just going to take 1 bag with nothing in it and then get my stuff and come right back. So I get up in the morning and I go to the airport. I texted him. I think we talked a little bit. I don't really remember. But I basically was like, good morning, I'm getting on the plane. Like, whatever. So I fly into Alabama and he's at work. So he doesn't make me at baggage claim, but like really pissed me off. Oh, and another thing that pissed me off which was another reason why I was contemplating not even staying, because I could tell that things was changing between us because I asked him if he took any time off when I was coming and he didn't take any time off. And we had plans for stuff, but it was all like plans for stuff like after he got off work. So I was annoyed because it's like, I'm coming back and you didn't even take off work. Like, what the fuck? So yes, when I landed, he was at work and then he didn't even like, it just wasn't giving, okay? He did not meet me at like baggage claim and get my bags or nothing. Like, he just was at fucking work. So I get my bag and then I meet him at work. And he's basically like, he was trying to get me a rental car because he was saying that he didn't want me to just be sitting in the house with no car for the week. And I was just like telling him like, no, it's fine, because at this point I already know I'm about to leave. So don't even waste your time getting a rental car because I don't need it. So I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, it's cool. I'll just sit in the house and like whenever you get home from work, we'll just do whatever we do. So I'm, again, playing it cool. Things also weren't good whenever when he first saw me. Like, when he first saw me, he was not happy. Like, he was just kind of like, again, not his normal like self. This is not how he was before. So it's just further confirming that, okay, get your shit, get the fuck on. So he's like, here, just take my car And then I'll let you know when I get off. You can come back and pick me up. I think he had like a basketball game because he was in like some little whatever league thing. I don't fucking know. But he had a basketball game after work. So he was like, I'll let you know when to come get me. And then we'll just go straight from here to the basketball game. We had to pick up some of his friends. We're supposed to go straight to the basketball game. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's fine. I'm going to take your car. You just let me know whenever you get off work. So he walked me to the car, put some bags in the car. It's crazy because I tried to open the door handle because, again, he's acting different. So I'm thinking Mr. fucking King is out the window. So I grabbed the door handle. He like taps my hand and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you're acting funny as fuck. So I just figured all that shit was out the window. But whatever. He grabs the door handle. He puts me in the car. Not puts me in the car, but he like opens the door for me to get in the car. I get in the car and I'm like, all right, bye, see you later. And I'm not trying to give him like, oh, no hugs or nothing. And he like stops me and he's like, so you're not gonna give me no hug, you're not gonna give me no kiss, like you're not doing nothing. And I'm just looking at him like, bro, you're acting dumb. So I wasn't planning on it, no, but I'm like, oh yeah. So I give him a hug, give him a kiss, whatever. He's like, all right, see you later. So I'm in his car. I drive to his place. Now, mind you, he just gave me the car key because I have a key to his place. So I still have the key when he gave me when I was there before. So I just go in the apartment. And then again, he knew that I was coming that day. And like, there was nothing in there. Mind you, like I said, before, this man was like super freaking sweet and like just like a freaking amazing human being, supposedly, right? So there was no flowers. There was no nothing. So on top of me already having an attitude, I get in there and I don't see nothing. I'm like, oh yeah, he got me fucked up. So prior to getting to his apartment, I stopped and got some food. And he was like texting me the whole time and he was asking me like, you know, where you at, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I stopped at the place across the street to get some food, blah, blah. We're talking like normal, you know, I'm talking normal. Even though I know I have a plan. Even when I was sitting in the little food place, I remember talking to my ex-husband and I was telling him like, because he's like, where are you? And I'm like, and I didn't want to tell him because I was embarrassed because at this point, the baby mama has been harassing him. Like, he's been caught up in all the drama because she keeps talking to him about it or whatever, right? So he calls me and I'm like, he's like, yo, where you at? And I'm like, man, I'm in Alabama. And he's like, dog, like, you tripping. I'm like, I know, but I came to get my stuff. I was like, I'm going to be back tomorrow. Like, just bear with me, baby daddy. So I get to his place and like I said, there was no flowers or nothing.
You know what I just realized? Where's the kids this whole time? Where are your kids? Did y'all just realize that? Am I the only one who's thinking that right now? Where's her kids? I just realized she has two kids. She has two kids, y'all. What the hell is she doing in Alabama?
In there, I had left my bag in the car at first because remember I told y'all I thought there was a girl in there the night before when the whole robbery thing happened. So first things first, I'm investigating. I'm going through everything in the house. I done went through every kitchen cabinet. I done pulled up the daggone couch cushions. I done looked under the couch. I done moved the couches away from the damn walls. Like, I'm going through everything. I'm going through. So like, there was some stuff on his TV stand. I'm not gonna say what it was, but there was some of my stuff on his TV stand. And I was like, I was looking to see like, do this shit look a little off? Like, it should be in the same place. Like, he shouldn't even be touching this shit. Should this shit look a little off? But I was just like going through everything. He had mentioned something about journaling. So I was trying to find his journal because I really also feel like that was a lot. I never found a journal. So I was looking for the journal. There was pictures of us that like in picture frames, like on his stands. What are they called? Coffee tables in his living room. So I was just looking at them like, does these look like somebody been moving them, touching them, something? I don't know what I was looking at, but I was just looking at everything. Went in his bedroom. I pulled back the bed sheets, trying to look at the sheets, see if I see anything, look under the bed. Like, he didn't really have nothing in his bedroom but the bed and the TV, so it wasn't really a lot to go through in the bedroom. So I went through that, and then I went to the bathroom. Now, when I went to the bathroom, I was really looking for, like, I had a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of hair stuff in there and like face stuff and like nail stuff. I had like a bunch of stuff in the bathroom. So I'm like, do this shit look like he kind of just threw all this shit in here this morning? So I'm just looking. Now, when I get to the freaking closet, this is what really pissed me off. So I had left a lot of clothes there, right? I had, so you know the little plastic drawers that are like, you get from Walmart. They're like 3 little plastic drawers. I had one of those with my stuff in it, like with underclothes, socks, pajamas. Like, I had one of those in there. That was turned backwards. So like the drawer pull out part was facing the wall as if he was trying to make it seem like make it as if nobody could see what was in there. Why was this turned around to the wall? And then I had clothes like on this shelf. So it was like his clothes and then there was a stack of my clothes. He had my clothes stuffed in between his clothes. So I'm like, there has for sure been somebody in here. Even my stuff that was hanging in the closet, I had dresses hanging in the closet. They were no longer like just like out with just my stuff, because it used to be like his stuff was like real organized and then my stuff was like right there. My dresses was in the mix of his clothes. So I'm like, yeah, he definitely for sure had somebody in here. He also had, I went through the laundry room, there was nothing in there, but he had this closet in the front of his house. It was like full of like, I don't even know, like Christmas tree and like all types of shit. I took everything out of that closet. Every single thing. I found stuff in there from the ex-fiance, possibly, because I don't really know her name, but I think it was stuff. It was like love letters and like all types of stuff was in there. It was just like the closet was just really full of like stuff. Like I found like car registrations. I was trying to see, I was just reading everything, taking pictures of everything that I could possibly find in there that I felt like I was gonna need at probably this point. So after I get done investigating, I put everything back into that closet and then I sit down to eat my food. And I'm like, okay, let me eat before I go outside to get my bag so I can pack up all my stuff and I can get ready to go. So I turn on the TV. So again, I just sit down in the living room. At this point, I think we're just still texting regular. I'm still playing it cool, whatever. I sit down in the living room, eat my food. I turn on the TV. Now I turn on the TV. I turn on Netflix. And you know how you click on an account and then it says like continue watching? Why the fuck was Bridgerton the top continued watching show? Part 10 of how I fell in love with The Lion King. So I turn on Netflix and the continue watching for The Lion King is fucking Bridgerton. Now, I'm sure if you're a man watching this, you don't even know what Bridgerton is unless you have a wife or a girlfriend, because dudes don't watch that. So I texted him. I said, who the fuck been in here watching Bridgerton? Because at this point, I'm so irritated. This man has the nerve to text me back cussing me out, talking about I'm so sick of dealing with your insecure ass bullshit. I'm going through enough with this whole robbery and I'm not finna deal with this shit all fucking week. So you need to take that bullshit somewhere else, basically, to sum it all up. Basically, bitch, you're tripping on me, leave me the fuck alone type shit. That's what I read, okay? So my mouth is on the floor at this point because I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I'm like, you know what? Bet. You got it. I think I actually literally text back just like, all right, bet. And he's like, what the fuck does that mean? And I'm like, nothing. Don't even worry about it. Because I'm changing my flight right now. So, I don't think I did even text him back no more. I honestly don't remember, like, the back and forth, if there was any back and forth after that. But I immediately got online and changed my flight to leave. I was trying to leave the same day, but I wasn't going to get back to the airport in time. So I just changed my flight to leave the following morning. I changed my flight. And then I book a hotel and I'm like, okay, let me finish eating my food so I can go pack up my bag so I can get the fuck out of here. So I get my bag and I get the pack in. I start packing up all of the stuff that I left there. So I had left like these picture frames that he got me. I had left, so I have a small business, a fitness line, and he was very supportive of it. So shout out to him for that. But he bought me a coffee mug that has my logo for my business on it. So my business is a girl's world. So he bought me like a white coffee mug and he had got it like personalized to say like a girl's word or whatever. He bought me that. So I had left that there. So I went and found that in the kitchen. I had left a Starbucks cup there in the kitchen. So I got that. It was clothes there. It was shoes there. It was like all the stuff in the bathroom. I took all of that stuff. So I had bought him, remember I told you I bought him 2 pairs of shoes, but one got robbed the day before. So those were gone. So the other pair of shoes that I had bought him, I took them because sorry, they're mine. I'm an Indian giver. I'm taking them back. And then the shoes, he had bought me a pair of shoes that had got delivered after I left. So I took them too because thank you. I feel like I need that for compensation or something, whatever. So I packed up everything. I even packed up, I wanted to leave no trace of me behind because like I said, I also had just went through that closet in the front and I found something from the ex-fiance. I didn't want the next bitch to be looking in the house and then find some shit about me. So I was like, I'm taking everything. So any like type of card or letter or the picture frames that had our pictures in it in his living room, I took all of that and I put all that in my bag, in my suitcase, and I had to sit on it because it was stuffed at this point because I had so much stuff in there. And I went and like put everything back, because mind you, I told you I was like sitting in there chilling and eating or whatever. So I put everything back, turned that fucking TV off, left the episode of Bridgerton at wherever the bitch ended it at. So you're welcome, babes. And I get my suitcase, I get back in his car, and I'm headed back to the airport. So I drive back up to the airport, and then I text him and I'm like, I'm here to give you your car, where you want me to park it. And he's like, where you at? And I'm like, I think I said like in the parking garage, because I don't really know where to park it. I can't get into the employee parking because I'm not a fucking employee. So he's like, well, just pull around to the front. So I'm like, cool. So I pull around to the front of the airport. I call him and I'm like, I'm outside. He comes outside, and then he like immediately opens a passenger car door to like get in the car. I don't really know what he thought. Like, I think he thought I was coming there to like pick him up or something. I don't know what the fuck he thought, honestly. Or I don't think that he thought I was there to pick him up because he wasn't off work yet. So I don't know if his intention was to get in the car and then drive it into the employee parking lot and then like be like, okay, what are you doing here? I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but I knew what the fuck I was doing. So he immediately opens the passenger door, and he sits in there, and I'm getting out. So as he's getting in, I'm getting out. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you need to get your car. Get your car. Like, I don't need this car anymore. And then I grab my suitcase out of the back, and I immediately walk into the airport. So this specific airport had a hotel in the airport. So I booked a hotel room in the airport so that I can stay in the hotel until I caught my flight the next morning. So he's standing there confused, and he's like, calls my name. He's like, Jess, where are you going? And I'm like, home. The fuck? And I just keep walking. And I go into the airport, and he gets in his car. Well, I guess he gets, I mean, I'm assuming, because I didn't like turn around or anything. I literally just walked in the airport, and he gets in the car, and then he goes on about his business. So I go upstairs and I check into my room, and I go into the hotel room so I could chill for the night. As soon as I got into the hotel room, I immediately blocked him. I blocked him on his regular phone. I blocked him on his work phone, and I was just like in there, and I was really upset, and I was talking to my best friend. I'm like, I just can't believe this man, and blah blah blah. So it's like, whatever. I ended up actually leaving my charger. I think I left my charger in his car or in his house. So I was like, fuck. So now I gotta go buy a charger. So I had to go buy an expensive ass charger in the airport. I ended up getting me some food from the restaurant downstairs. Now, mind y'all, he works here, so I'm not trying to be out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like hurrying up. Like, I hurry up and go get a charger, and I hurry up and go get some food, and then I'm in the room because I don't remember like what time he was supposed to get off or anything. So I'm just like, bro, I'm just gonna sit up here in this room. We're gonna watch some basketball for tonight, and then when I get up in the morning, I'm going home. So he does end up calling me a couple times from like another number that night, but I didn't answer. So I didn't answer no phone calls. I'm really just in there kicking it. I'm watching the game, talking to my best friend. I'm not gonna lie and say that my feelings weren't like hurt. Like, my feelings were hurt. So I was in the room hurting. I was mad. I was getting sad, and I was like, even in my mind, I'm not gonna lie, I was like contemplating, like, should I just go talk to him? Like, he's probably cooled down by now. But actually, he did cool down at that point, because he had texted me from another number basically saying like, he's sorry, like, could I please answer, like, where am I, that I get on the plane. Like, so he was trying to communicate with me that whole night, and I'm just like, no, bro, like, I gotta be done with this. I gotta be done with this. I gotta be done with this. So I didn't talk to him no more. I got up the next morning, and I went to catch my flight. And the crazy thing is I went down this escalator in the airport, and I seen him at work that morning when I was going to check in my bag, because my flight left at a specific time. And I'm like, well, he doesn't come to work this early. So I had actually went to go check in my bag like super early, so that way I didn't want to like run into him. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up early, I'm gonna go check my bags, and then I'm in the airport, so I'm just gonna come back up here and chill until it's like time to catch my flight, rather than like sitting at the gate. So I did that, but then I was going somewhere. I think I was going to like the bathroom or something, and then I went down this escalator, and I could see him at work, and I'm like, fuck, I hope he didn't see me. Like, on the phone with my best friend, like, bro, I hope he didn't see me. Like, I hope he doesn't come running behind me or like come through the gate somehow, because I mean, he works there, so he could get past the gate. So I was like, I had so much anxiety. Like, I'm just like, I just need to get on this plane. I don't want to see this man. I don't want this man to see me. So I make it on the plane. I get home. And as soon as I landed, I think my ex-husband has screenshotted me something that the baby mama had posted about me on her page. And it was like, oh, you're so dumb. That's why when you went back to see your man, you had to get your own hotel room. He didn't even let you stay at his house. Like, look at you. You really thought you was doing something. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, how the fuck does this girl know I was in a hotel? How the fuck does she know I was there? How the fuck does she know that I was leaving? Like, how the fuck does she know all this?
She knows all of this is because he's running game on both of you. We've been sitting through this video this whole time. We done sat through this long of the story time and we still don't know how, why, who. He's with his baby mama. Like, why don't you understand? If you got a girl on your team or a partner on your team, right, that's okay with all of the shit you're doing, they're pretty much in an open relationship. She's so desperate. And I'm just gonna go in and call it. It's sad on her end too. She wanna say it's cause I met him when I was young. Girl, you grown as fuck now. We're not about to keep doing that. We're not about to hear that damn excuse. He met you not too young either, obviously, because y'all only like a few years apart. Well, I don't know. She said she's 27, he's 33. I'm not gonna get into that shit. But at the end of the day, how many years have passed? This woman is okay with his baggage. So of course he's not gonna cut her off. He's gonna make everyone believe that she's crazy. That's what we do in the world. When somebody's making too much sense, like Kanye, hello. Now he's the craziest person in the damn world. Like Orlando and them, now he's the craziest person in the damn world when you start making too much damn sense. She had him. She got all his dirt. And she the only one out of all the BMs that can expose him. And yet she still gets fresh information daily. All right, come on, put it together. It makes sense. You doing everything right. You standing on business. Right now, I'm so proud of you because you standing on business. This is how you stand on business. This is how you cut somebody off and just move forward. But that husband, that ex-husband, he messy as hell. He messy. I don't know if he want his family back or something, but he had no, why is he even in this shit? This don't even make no sense.
Immediately I'm like, I knew it. Like, I knew he was playing both sides. I knew he was the fuck with her. Like, I knew it. Light bulb went off. I knew it. So I unblocked him when I'm literally walking off the plane at my house, like where I live. And I unblocked him and I sent him the screenshots and I was basically like, I fucking knew you were still fucking with this girl. Like, you could have just fucking said that like you wanted to be with your baby mama. Like, why was you sitting up here lying to me, saying all this shit, like you don't talk to her and you don't this and you don't that, when how the fuck does she know that I wasn't at your house last night? And how does she know that I came there and I left? Like, how does she know all this shit? Like, I'm going off. So mind you, we're on the phone and he hears like the plane noise in the background. So he's like, you're just getting on the plane? You've been here all night. Like, don't take that flight home, blah, blah. And I'm at home. I just landed at the crib. That's not important right now. What's important is how I'm finally figuring out that you're full of shit and I'm fucking done with you. And I hang up the phone. So then he's texting me immediately, apologizing, saying like he can't believe that I was in Alabama for the whole night and like I didn't give him the chance to like apologize and like not like, because he did apologize in the text message for how he was talking to me, but like apologize to my face and like I should have linked up with him and all this other stuff. And then he goes into like saying like, let me just rebook you a flight, like stay at the airport and I'm just gonna rebook you a flight, you can come back out here, I can fix this, like I'm in love with you, like I want to make this work, I want to fix this, and basically like asking me to please like come back so that we can fix everything. Part 11 of how I fell in love with the Lion King. Y'all really have no faith in me in part 10, because if y'all thought I was getting back on that flight, y'all are fucking mistaken. I got right off that flight and took my ass home. I was sick of the emotional roller coaster and the lies and the baby mama. I was fucking over it. So I'm gonna put a couple receipts in this part because this will probably be the last part. But this is the post that she posted on her Instagram that my ex sent me once I left from Alabama. And this is what I sent to him, basically saying like, you're a fucking liar, because how did she even know that I was there and that I left? Now, at first, I thought it was him, which I still kind of do think it was him. But I also posted a TikTok on my page when I was in the hotel that night. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. So I posted this TikTok when I was in the hotel, and it says, when you flew to see your long distance boyfriend and he had an attitude and started talking to you crazy, so you booked a flight for the next day, left and never spoke to him again. And the captain says, who do you fuck in the city when I'm not here? Because who was watching Bridgerton? The only thing that was having me question that she was just like stalking my socials at the time was because I didn't travel from North Carolina. So I don't know where she got that from, but I didn't travel from North Carolina. So then I was kind of like, damn, maybe he didn't tell her, but what the fuck is she talking about? So at the time, I was just mad. Like, I didn't even really, I don't know what, I wasn't thinking, right? So I wasn't thinking logically at the time because I was so upset about going there and the Bridgerton and then the robbery. Like, it was just so much going on. So I wasn't even really thinking logically that she could have just seen my TikTok versus him telling her. Oh, and then she also was posting like, oh, you think that's your man, but he made you stay in a hotel when you went to visit him and blah, 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 blah. And again, I'm thinking, how does she know I was in a hotel? But I also wasn't thinking that I posted that TikTok so she seen me in the hotel. So at the time, it was just all him. Like, again, I never wanted to make this about her. I do not care about that girl. I was more so upset with him. He's the villain. He's the liar. Why the fuck did he keep playing with me? It was just, I was mad at him. Fuck him and fuck her. So after I got home, I think me and him did have like a little back and forth, like in text messages or whatever, for like a couple of days. I want to say, so that was June. I think we went back and forth for a little bit. I know Father's Day we weren't speaking. I went out of the country in July, and then I want to say I moved to Hawaii in July, and I think we spoke one time when I was here in Hawaii. Well, we spoke one time when I first moved to Hawaii. I want to say it was me. I hit him up. It was basically like, I wanted some closure because I kept thinking about him and I was ready to like really move on, you know, whatever. And he basically told me like, he doesn't believe that I really want closure. He believes that I still want to be with him, blah, blah. And I was just like, bro, I just need to know the truth. Like, tell me the truth. Tell me why you lied about all this stuff. And he never even really told me anything in that conversation that we had in July. I remember asking him about my packages because when I went there for that day, I was, like I said, I was supposed to stay for a week, and I had ordered some stuff that was supposed to be delivered directly to his house that week. So I was asking him if he could mail my packages back. I still never got my packages. So shout out to you, whatever girl got my TikTok shop shit, because it was at his house. And if he gave it to you, I bought it. But anyways, he was saying he was gonna mail my packages, which he never did. I was asking him about some stuff that he ordered for my business because he made me some thank you cards and some stickers and bought me all the stuff for my business. So I was asking him for the graphics and the link so that I could reorder some. And then I want to say the conversation just kind of ended with like nothing really, honestly. And that was in July. So I hadn't heard from him again after July. And then he randomly texts me from another number because he was blocked. So I don't remember how our conversation ended in July. I'm going to assume I was over it for real because I blocked him. And he has been blocked ever since July. So he then texted me from a random number in October and was like, hey, or something. And I'm like, who's this? And then he says his name. And he's like, can you please unblock me? I just want to talk. I didn't immediately text back. I think the next day he ended up texting me again saying like, please. And so I think like 2 days after the please, I did unblock him and I texted him and I was like, what's up? So at this point, I'm like, well, maybe he's going to come clean about everything. And then I can really just move on with knowing the truth. Like, I know y'all don't know me like that, but one thing about it is like, it's going to bother me until I know the truth. I don't know why I'm like that, but like, I just need to know. Like, I just needed to know. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe we can have a conversation and then he can tell me the truth. So he basically sends me this long message saying how he misses me and that he's just so in love with me still and he just cannot move on from me. The dating pool has been underwhelming and basically he can't find another woman like me, basically. And I didn't respond that day. And then I waited till the next day and I responded and I basically told him like, no, like we're not ever going to be able to be anything because I can't trust you. Like, I just can't trust anything that comes out of your mouth. And he kind of responded with, you know what? I respect that. I appreciate you like kind of hearing me out. If things ever change, like just know that I'm always going to be here for you. Like I'm basically like, if things ever change, just hit me up because I want to be with you. So I'll drop whatever I got going on to be with you. So then I think like a week later, I was talking to my best friend and I was like, girl, I think I should reach out to him and like make it seem like I want to be with him and ask him a bunch of questions to see if he'll tell me the truth. So she was like, all right. So I sent him this message, like basically like, you know what? I thought about it. And I think that if you come clean about all these things that I'm still wondering about, that, you know, maybe we can make things work. So I sent him like a message full of like 9 different questions about the things that he lied to me about. And he responds to mostly all of them with kind of sort of the truth. So all of the questions aren't really that important or relevant to this because y'all don't know that part of whatever I was asking. But he clarified the kids. I'm not gonna really get into exactly what he said because that's like a whole nother thing. But he basically said he has 4 children. He explained to me their names and their ages, and he said he has 4. So not 6, but 4. I asked him about his situation that he had going on with the crazy baby mama. And he basically said that they were going back and forth through court for like visitation and child support. But the baby mama wasn't showing up because she supposedly moved from where she was living to somewhere else. And they had to like resend out some paperwork to her new address. So that way they could have another court date for child support and visitation. But he was very adamant that he does not speak to her and that they have nothing going on. I also asked him about the adoptive mother thing, and he said that he wasn't claiming for her to be his adopted mother. He started explaining something about like living between his grandma and his daddy, and that his mom was on drugs or something. But honestly, I don't think he ever told me that. I think he confused me with another bitch, because I don't ever remember him telling me nothing about his mom being on drugs or living with his grandma. So I think that he kind of just confessed to something that he never even told me. I never asked him about why he lied about his age, because like at this point, like what can you possibly say that's going to make sense on why you lied about your age? Like there's nothing that you can say that's going to make any sense about you lying about your age. So I just didn't even care about that. I just didn't even ask that question. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all, we did have a conversation after the whole little like question and answer session, like catching up on each other's lives. He told me that he moved to a new apartment, showed me the apartment, said he got a new car, showed me the car, was telling me stuff about his job, how he got a promotion, telling me stuff about his kids. He asked me how Hawaii was. So we did have like a little conversation after that. So the conversation between me and him was on October 19th. Tell me why on November the 4th, I get a Facebook message from his ex-fiance. Part 12, how I fell in love with the Lion King, and I promise y'all this is the last part. So, okay, I remember why I got the ick in July. When I first moved to Hawaii, we were having a conversation, the whole like, I want closure, whatever. I got the ick because he kept bringing up the shoes. So remember when I told you I went to his house and I took everything any trace of me out of the house. I even took back the pair of shoes that wasn't stolen that I bought. And he just kept bringing it up like he just thought it was so fucked up that I took the shoes. And then I took the shoes that I bought him, but I also took the shoes that he bought me, like, duh. Just got robbed twice. And so he was just like, he just kept saying like, oh, I just feel like you should give them back to me. And it just gave me the ick. It's like, first of all, buy your own now at this point. And like, why are you still bringing that? It gave broke. So it pissed me off. So I was just like, okay, never mind. So back to the fiance. So the fiance messages me on Facebook on November the 4th. And she basically says like, hey, I am his ex from like 2 to 3 years ago. I'm not really sure how I got mixed up in all of this, but I just wanted to reach out to you to let you know that he is a liar. Me and him broke up because I found out about his criminal record and that he possibly had a daughter. She said that his baby mama added her on Facebook and she saw pictures of all of them, and that is how she found out that he had a daughter, and that is why they broke up. So no, they did not break up because she was pregnant and got an abortion in Atlanta because she was cheating on a guy in DC. Cheating on him with a guy in DC, which is what he told me. And I asked her, and she said the way that man is lying on me is crazy work. I also asked her about the adoptive mom thing because the picture of the mom that he showed me is actually on her page. That same lady is on her page. So I'm like, is your mom his adoptive mom? And she was like, girl, no. So he basically told me that his ex-girlfriend's mom was his adopted mom. So no, he was not adopted. Oh, and they were never engaged. I don't know if I said that, but they were never engaged. He never proposed to her. So I don't know where that wedding band came from that I found in his house, but she wasn't even his fiance. She also goes on to tell me that the girl that he dated prior to the ex-fiance, I'm just going to keep calling her the ex-fiance so that y'all know who I'm talking about. So the girl prior to the ex-fiance, he told her that she was pregnant and died in a car accident. Yeah. And I was driving to work and I literally was like, I might need to pull over because what? She then goes on to tell me that he just recently went to her mom's house to show the mom the new car that he just got. And to tell the mom that we broke up because I was pressuring him to buy a house in Alabama and he wasn't ready for that. Sir, I know you can't afford to buy no damn house. I don't know why the fuck he made that lie up. That's not true at all. And I didn't even live in Alabama. I was only there for 3 months, so I don't fucking know. Whatever. He also told her that I then was pressuring him to move to Hawaii with me, and he also wasn't ready for that. And that then he found out that I was living with my baby daddy, and I lied about it, and that my baby daddy pulled up on him with a gun, and that I was also pregnant and had an abortion. Huh? So at this point, I'm like, yo, this man is nuts. Okay, let's clarify a couple of things. One, I never lived in Alabama. Two, he can't afford to buy a house. Three, I don't need a house in Alabama to live in for him to buy me if I don't live in Alabama. I was never living in Alabama. I was only in Alabama for 3 months for work. That's it. I had an apartment because my job got me an apartment while I was there for 3 months. I never, ever, ever lived here. Let's just clear that up. I was never pregnant. I've had 2 pregnancies and I have 2 kids. I don't know what's up with him and this obsession with getting girls pregnant and then getting an abortion. I'm mixing up all the fucking lies. I don't know why he is so obsessed with telling people that he gets people pregnant and they get an abortion. I don't fucking know. I was never pregnant. I don't have no abortions. I don't know where the fuck that came from. 3, I don't live with my child's father. Me and my child's father don't even live in the same state. Me and my child's father have a very good relationship. And I don't even know why he wrapped him all into this because I don't know. And my child's father also has never been to, well, I'm not gonna say he's never been to Alabama because I don't fucking know. But no, he did not go to Alabama and pull a gun out on this man. Why did you lie like that? I also never pressured this man to move to Hawaii. We talked about like if our relationship went that far, obviously he would have to move to Hawaii if we decided to stay together because I'm living in Hawaii and you're living in Alabama. Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with that? But that was literally the extent of the conversation. Like, nobody was pressuring him to do anything at all, ever. He also told the ex-fiance that his daddy molested him and cried real tears whenever he told her that. But he told another girl that his daddy died. So, I don't know. Oh, and when he told me the whole story, I don't know if y'all remember this, but when he told me the whole story about the ex-fiance going to get an abortion, he literally was like really sad. Like I was consoling him. I think I said that in whatever part that was. But to find out that all of these things are just lies, this man should get a fucking Emmy because he really puts on a fucking performance. After I heard from the ex-fiance, I was really just like, oh my God. I actually was thanking God because I'm like, thank you, Lord, for all of this stuff happening and getting me out of that situation because I'm a lover girl. I love hard. I try to see the best in everybody. I'm one of those people that if you're damaged for whatever reason, I'm trying to fix you. Like I just want the best for everyone and I just be trying to fix every damn body. So I am very happy that the Lord made that super difficult to even be a thing because it just got to the point where I was like, this is just not going to work. You need to get over it. You can't fix this man. He's fucking nuts and whatever. Now, that happened on November 4th. I want to say a couple of days later, the baby mama is watching my Instagram stories again, which I don't think she ever stopped. I think she just keeps making fake pages and I just don't really catch them until I say something that triggers her on my story. So I said something that triggered her on my story. Don't even really remember what it was, but she ended up writing me going off, saying all the stuff about me that I just need to take my L in peace and I'm a hoe and I'm this and she hates me and blah, 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 blah. I don't really be knowing what that girl be talking about half the time. So I blocked that page. Then she came back the next day saying some more stuff from another page, sending me pictures of her, telling her that she looked better than me and like all this other stuff. And I need to go to college and I need to stop being a hoe and I just need to start doing all these things. I don't fucking know. But she came harassing me again the next day. So I blocked that page. Then this freaking nutcase goes on my Instagram page and she comments a comment under my mom's freaking comment. And she comments and says basically like, I am a wide vagina lady and I'm a hoe and I need to stand on my own 2 feet without the army and get some degrees like her and stop worrying about her man. And just, I mean, literally the most craziest thing ever. And I didn't even know it because I don't know. I didn't see the comment. My mom called me going off. Who the is this under this comment? I'm going to comment back like, who is that? Who is that? Like going off. So I'm like, what is happening? So I go look at the comment and I'm like, oh, I'm like, that's the baby mama. I'm like, you remember when I told you about the liar man? Yeah, that's his baby mama. And she's like, well, why is she commenting that, saying that stuff about you? And I'm like, well, she hates me, but I don't know why. And she's like, well, you don't even talk to him anymore. And I'm like, exactly. This lady's nuts. She even went to one of my other friends' Instagrams and left a comment about me under my friend's page, basically saying like, get your friend, she a hoe or something. I don't know. So at that point, I'm like, okay, enough is enough. You need to leave me alone. And I text him and I'm like, look, I'm very sorry that you had a baby with this lady and that you have to deal with her for the rest of your fucking life. But you need to do something about this. Like, this is getting out of hand. Like, I know you can't really control her, but like, can you tell her that you hate me or something? Like, tell her that you never loved me and that I was the worst thing that ever happened to you and like she's better than me, or like something. Tell her something so that she can love herself and leave me the fuck alone. And do y'all know this motherfucker text me back talking about some leave me out of it? Leave you out of it? Are you fucking crazy? The leave me out of it comment really did it for me, and that is why I got on here and started telling part one, because I was just like, leave you out of it? No, bitch, you're the reason why I'm in this. Are you crazy? All I was asking was to be left alone. And then he tried to make a slick ass comment. I don't talk to none of y'all. Bitch, you want to talk to me? What you talking about? You can't talk to me. So fuck out of here. But the leave me out of it comment, that did it for me. And I know y'all probably like, girl, 12 parts ago should have did it for you, which it should have. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through their little delulu phase, their little dumb going back and forth phase with a man type situation. So whatever. All I'm saying is just beware of the fucking Lion Kings in the world.
All right, Messy family. I'm happy that it all came full circle at the end. I agree with her that she should have been over that 12 parts ago. And now we see the motive of why she even went on these parts and telling us all of this stuff. Because obviously she was just pissed at him. I feel like if he would have put in a little bit more effort, she would have still been with that man. But who am I to say? I feel like she was looking for any reason for him to like save the relationship between those two, even though he got all these crazies in his circle. The middle baby mama, she's enough to run off all the future people. I'm not shocked that he lied to everyone. I knew he was telling lies about everyone because he's lying to her. Why would he tell anybody else the truth and be lying to her? He's lying to everybody. Obviously, how you think you end up with 6 different baby mamas? 6 different kids. I'm sorry, 3 different baby mamas, 4 different kids. I'm saying, how do you think you end up with a situation like that if you're not lying? I think he's still lying about the kids. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because he was lying all the way up until the end. He hasn't told you any truths yet. He's just gonna let you keep anything to make him look a little better. Why would he lie? The difference between having 4 and 6 kids, why would he lie about that? Why the fuck did he lie about his age? If he was 32 when he said he was 28, then why the fuck would you lie about that? Why not just say 30, 31? If you want to add some years, I get it, but if somebody lying about something that small, trust me, it's big fish in there. It's some big lies in there. They lying about the little, oh my goodness. You don't want to know what else he lying about. You should be happy that you just got out of that situation. The fact that it's still going through your mind and you're mad about it, you must not really understand the bullet you dodged. You really dodged a toxic narcissist person, and you're sitting here in distraught about it. I need you to wake up. Watch your story time all the way throughout if you have to again. Because that's what you dodged. You should be happy. Let them be miserable together. But what do you guys think, Messy family? If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I will appreciate you, family. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you clearly like long content, and that's clearly what I'm giving you. But got another story time I'm about to work on, so I will see you guys in the next story time. Make sure y'all drop y'all comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Messy Stories. Peace out, Messy family.